That is a massive win heading into Wednesday. If you get swept, I don't think it's over, but boy, oh boy, you're in a position in a best-of-5 where you would have to win out at that point in time.
Yeah,
so
and one of those games is going to be at the road.
So I feel like a sweep is what is required for this team to go and advance out of the divisional series. A split, sorry. Yeah, split, sorry.
Avoiding the sweep,
yes,
if you will. No, I'm 100% with you. I don't think there's any reason to assume at this point that what they can't do is just lose both games, which is why, once again, just like we said in the wild card series, just like we said in that final series against the Braves, so for the third straight series, the game that I cared the most about won. Get this one. Get game one, and then the entire series is kind of in your control. You think the Yankees have pressure now. Imagine if they lose game one of the series. Well, then the pressure reaches an entirely different level and an entirely different point where this team's going to have to find something kind of special, if you're the Yankees, to try to make a comeback against the Royals. A team that seemingly, when they need to win in the playoffs, for the last day, when they get here, they do these kinds of things. So, yeah, I would think that a split.
Do you think these games though are anywhere near what we saw in Baltimore? I know it's going to be stressful. I know we're going to be living and dying by every single pitch. That's what happens in this portion of the season, the postseason. But I'm speaking to the score itself, 1-0, 2-1. In a best-of-5 series, I said it yesterday, and I know Vern kind of disagreed with me, but I just don't believe for this team to advance out of the ALDS that they can have a 2-game stretch where they score 3 runs. Like I don't believe if the Royals on Saturday and Monday combine for 3 runs, I don't know if that's good enough for us.
I don't know how it is.
And I know we feel great about the pitching, although we're going to look at Michael Walker's playoff numbers here.
I dug into the numbers. It wasn't as good as I thought.
A little bit later on, even though the entire rotation, Walker and Lugo and Reagans in particular, have actually fared very well against guys like Aaron Judge, for example, Stanton and Juan Soto, and keep going through the Volpe, and keep going through the lineup. But I don't believe, no matter how great we now feel about pitching, that this can be another 2-game stretch of just 3 runs if you want to get a sweep. A split, I'm sorry. No. So that to me is the bare minimum for the Royals. Can they win Saturday night against Garrett Cole 2-1? Maybe. I would not bet my money that that's the result on Saturday.
It obviously comes down to, like most of these series, pitching. The Royals had the second-best team ERA out of the starting rotation in baseball. It was only the Mariners who were better than them. But the Yankees weren't bad, and I think that's the difference between some of these teams they've beaten recently. Not the Orioles. The Orioles actually had a good starting pitching staff a majority of the season, but they were injured and not at their full complement. They're going to roll out Garrett Cole, and then Carlos Rodon's had a really nice year for Game 1 and Game 2. So the pitching matchup, yeah, maybe is even, because it's Walker and Reagans, remember. It's not Reagans and Lugo. So for the first 2 games, and for the first time all postseason, I don't actually think you have the pitching advantage in the first 2 games. I think it's a net wash.
Well, I think Game 2 they have the advantage.
Game 2, fine, but I think Game 1 the Yankees do. So for the series, for the first 2 games of the series, I think the pitching matchup is a net 0. And so if you know that going into it, then find a way to get one. You guys are in the same position. We know the offense always favors the Yankees in this scenario. They've been way better at scoring runs, generally speaking. Okay. And now at this point, I'm starting to think the bullpen might favor the Royals because, the Yankees don't have a bullpen they truly trust, and the Royals bullpen is on one hell of a hot streak.
Garrett Cole in the postseason, just for that to that point.
That was a stat for a while.
Overall, though, his numbers are good. 10-6, ERA of 2.93, and 17 appearances in the postseason. His last outing in the postseason was 2022.
Okay.
The Yankees were out of the postseason last year. So with the Yankees, he had 3 games, was 2-1 with a 2.95 ERA, 23 strikeouts, and 18 1/3. It was the year before where everybody made a huge deal about it because in 2021 he had one outing and a 13.5 ERA. But overall, his last time pitching in the postseason is
good.
Three games and a 2.95 ERA. So I don't buy into the oh my gosh Garrett Cole sucks in the postseason stuff. His last postseason. With 3 appearances, he had a ERA below 3.
Yeah, he was really, really, really good. And typically speaking, right now, I don't think you have to be the greatest postseason performer for me to be like, well, I don't know if you can do it against this Royals offense.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a really good pitcher, odds are you're going to hold down the Royals offense. They're going to have to win Game 1 like 3-2. Like, they're going to need excellent starting pitching. That's the game where I might be on Vern's side where
You don't need 4 runs.
yeah,
I hear you.
Like, honest to God, you're probably better off winning a game 3-2 because if it's 5-6, I don't think that favors you. We talk about this style makes fight all the time in the NFL. I'm like, hey, if the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs, they're going to want to keep this game in the 20s because you used to not want to get in a
Look, though,
a shootout with Kansas City. Now it's the opposite way. If the game's low scoring, I figure it favors Kansas City more.
Yeah, and as I said, we're going to get to Waka's numbers later, and I think maybe this is skewing you a little bit because they are jarring to see postseason.
Yeah, they are.
But,
Quite a bit.
But the 2024 campaign, Michael Waka, we said time and time again, did not get talked about enough because of how great Lugo and Reagan's were. Michael Waka, for the final 2.5 months, maybe 3,
he's having a resurgence
of the season, was about as good as any pitcher in baseball, other than Skubal. Like,
yep.
I mean, other than that, in Sale, the 2 guys that are going to win the Cy Young in the respective leagues. Other than that, I think Michael Waka was a top 5 pitcher, top 3 pitcher in baseball. So I don't know if I'll fully give the edge to Garrett Cole. I think there's, like most things, there's always a balance. I think people trashing Cole for postseason appearances are incorrect. We just told you the numbers there.
Statistically, that does not bear any fruit.
But also, I don't think this is a huge swing towards Garrett Cole at all. Michael Waka has been one of the best pitchers in baseball since June.
Can I ask, as we're getting ready for these games, and obviously we're out here at Community America for a Red Friday event, and you can get free lunch starting at 11 and a chance to win Chiefs and Saints tickets. But I'm going to be honest. Hasn't come up very often because the Royals haven't been in the playoffs in 9 years. Is there any reason why I can't know what the hell time the game starts on Wednesday?
Everybody.
Is it just me? Wait,
no.
can I not know what time this game is starting on at least Wednesday? I take Wednesday and Thursday, and I understand that I don't have a regular. I don't work at Community America, right? I don't have a 9 to 5, so the odds are no matter when the Royals game starts, it's mostly fine for me. But can I not know what time the game starts on Wednesday? What the hell are we waiting on?
I think there's a lot of Royals fans that either have bought tickets and want to know or haven't bought tickets on the secondary market because they're not sure if they can make it yet until we get a game time. Yeah, I thought we would learn today now that the entire divisional series is set after seeing the Mets come back in epic fashion with Pete Alonso, who redeemed himself in the top of the 9th inning and sent the Brewers home in heartbreaking fashion. I thought, now that we know all the series, give us some times. I don't know. Maybe we're going to have to wait till tomorrow or after game 1 of these AL and NLDS. I am a little surprised.
I got to wait till the end of Saturday now?
I think there's a lot of people are in the same boat as you that, as I said, have tickets or want to buy tickets, but they want to know, are they having to get out of work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or are they waiting and it's a 7:30 first pitch or something?
I'm going to guess because Dodgers-Padres play that we can all make
That'll be the late game.
I assume we can all make a general assumption that the 7:30 Central Time game will be Dodgers-Padres. Maybe I'm crazy, but seems like a pretty good guess for Wednesday. But outside of that, I don't know. Because it'd be it's the Yankees. They're going to want them at 5:30. The other game is the Mets and the Phillies. Those aren't exactly small TV markets. You still get New York on the other end, but in addition to that, you get Philly and East Coast time and, all those other things. So I don't know. I should be able to know what time the game on Wednesday is. I don't feel like we got to sit on this information. I think you could just tell me.
I think plenty of people are with you. The other thing with just the way that the postseason has been set up and just the broadcast schedules and everything, and obviously you should be listening to Ryan and Denny and Jake on 96.5 The Fan anyway. But I thought it was Michael Kay, who's the voice of the Yankees, one of the voices of the Yankees, I should say. John Sterling is still going to call some postseason games for them. Is that he was saying, for the wild card round, they really should just let the local announcers do the wild card games.
I think it'd be cool.
Now, for this round, we get on TV Bob Costas or whatever and Ron Darling.
Yep.
But I actually agreed with Michael Kay. I was like, you know what? That for the wild card rounds, how neat would that have been to let Rex Hudler and Ryan or whoever on the TV side as well call the wild card games? I think that's a great idea.
Listen to Jeff Passan sent out a tweet last night of the radio call of the Pete Alonso home run.
Oh, well, that was perfect.
It is a great call. But part of that is because that man making the call has watched 162 games of the Mets. He knows every little ebb and flow they've gone through, everything Pete Alonso has gone through over the last 3 years. He knows the team intimately. So when you hear that call from the Mets side,
I'm going to ask Ryan about this.
In about 15
minutes.
I think you get the emotion more than a national broadcast can supply you. When you hear Denny make the call, or Ryan Lefebvre, or Jake Eisenberg, when you hear Hud, or you're not going to get those same levels of emotion, but that also requires 2 broadcasts, right, in a way, because you got to offer that.
I get that.
So both teams, and just choose your broadcast.
So just listen to the radio anyway, and sync it up with the TV, and all is solved. You know?
Someone says, do people not have vacation or PTO? Just take half a day or the day off. It's that simple.
Depends on what
I think everyone's jobs are a little different.
Yeah, not every job can just request it 2 days before. Some you need to ask more in advance. It just depends on what you do for, I think, for a living on that.
Yeah,
it's
I think
way
if you
easier
work
for some jobs to just take the afternoon off than others.
Yeah, I think if you work in a corporate America 9 to 5, you can probably just duck out at 2 o'clock and put in the PTO. But if you're a nurse or you work a service industry job or you work, like legitimately today,
anything, yeah.
I went to Quick Trip to get a drink on my way in, right? Want a little caffeine, great. Got a drink on my way in from Quick Trip. The guy at the Quick Trip knows that I work in sports radio and was talking to me about the game, and he's like, man, he's got to work right on Saturday. He's like, I hope someone tells me the score on Saturday. Had he known, maybe he could have gotten someone to cover a shift. Maybe there's a non-baseball fan who also works at Quick Trip who doesn't care about covering the shift, but that guy can't watch it.
Do you feel at home, Mr. Former bank teller? We're at Community America Credit Union.
Am I allowed near a bank based on some of the advice I've given on this station?
That's a whole different conversation. I feel like the big ATM they have here for eventually some of the Chiefs swag starting at 11 and a chance to win some Chiefs Monday Night Football tickets. I feel like they should have you operating that. This seems like the job for you, man. How many times have you
want me to go in there?
Teller?
I don't think they'll just let me go. This isn't like guest bartending. I don't think they'll let me just be a guest teller and get in someone's drawer.
Well, no, not the
and start handing out money.
No, not inside the bank.
Oh,
I'm saying out here there's something
Chiefs
called
swag.
the big ATM, and that is where you get the Chiefs swag. That is where it could potentially kick out some Chiefs Saints tickets. You could be operating that.
Okay.
Somebody is inside that ATM operating.
Dude, you're breaking the fourth wall. Someone might have thought it was a cool big ATM.
It's a big ATM. You just thought it just knows.
You think it gets hot in that thing? No way. It's
of course
AC,
it gets hot
right?
in there. Of
I
course.
bet it just bakes.
Yeah.
I bet it just bakes in there. But that's okay. If they'll let me, I'll work it. I'll stand back there, and for 15 minutes, I'll work the big ATM. If people come by and have free lunch, by the way, starting at 11 o'clock, the big ATM, which you can win free Chiefs gear or Chiefs tickets to the game on Monday night. Plus, you can see us.
Yeah, we're at the Lefebvre branch, 135th in Black Bob. Hope to see you guys out here throughout the day. One other thing with this game starting tomorrow night, Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., the two guys that are going to finish 1-2 in MVP voting. Unfortunately, Aaron Judge is going to win the MVP. We've talked about this all year. Bobby Witt Jr., though, in his first two playoff appearances, we know, came up with the game-winning RBI. And the stage is even bigger now for him, being in New York. It's the divisional series, all of that. But, man, this is an unbelievable opportunity for baseball. We mentioned branding and marketing your stars and how Bobby Witt already has more postseason wins than Mike Trout, who just didn't have postseason success or didn't make it to the postseason all that often. Judge, Witt, Jr., that is what this series should be all about from a MLB superstar marketing angle.
It's the only thing I would put on the screens. Like, almost to the point that people would be tired of it, if we're being honest. I would shove it in people's faces. I really would. Aaron Judge has played in so many postseason games. This isn't a Shohei Mike Trout situation. Aaron Judge has played in a ton of postseason games. But he's not been a big postseason performer. And I told you, the storyline is easy either way. Aaron Judge, the MVP on the New York Yankees, advances to another ALCS, or he just took down the king. Bobby Witt Jr. took down the guy who won the MVP over him, even though it should have been Bobby's, because that's the way I would sell the story. Look, I'm not saying Aaron Judge didn't deserve to win an MVP. He did. I just think Bobby Witt Jr. also deserved to win an MVP, and if you factor in all parts of the game, all things created equal, you would find out that they were equally great players, and I don't think that the vote is going to reflect that, sadly, because of home run totals. So, but you, as Major League Baseball, going to put those two guys standing back-to-back, holding the bat, saying it's Aaron Judge versus Bobby Witt Jr. Because while you can say, and sadly, Aaron Judge of the Yankees versus Bobby Witt Jr. Because in the other series, you make it about the big market teams. Mets, Phillies, that's a divisional matchup. Dodgers, Padres, with some Shohei tossed in there, right, obviously. That's the series. But this one should just be Aaron Judge versus Bobby Witt Jr. That's how I view it. I view this as a chance for Bobby Witt Jr. to stick it to Aaron Judge. Even though they don't even directly play against each other exactly, but I look at it that way anyway. Like, is there not, it's like it's not dual quarterbacks, but nobody's. Aaron Judge has
Well,
pitched
what's weird
to
is,
Bobby.
so far, now it's 2 games for Bobby. He's delivered in every single possibility to help his team advance. He's come up with the game-winning hits and everything. But also, on the flip side, Aaron Judge, he's been in the postseason numerous times. He has not been able to take his team to the championship, which is ultimately how he is being judged. But in this series, knowing that the voting takes place before the postseason, keep that in mind, too, for those that are like, hey, if the Royals win this series, but Bobby Witt has another 3 game-winning hits, and Aaron Judge doesn't do much in this series, which I find hard to believe. But if that's the case, people say, well, then even more, how did Bobby not win MVP? But remember, the voting was done before the season, but it sets the stage for next year and for the rest of his career. If Bobby has another huge series, the whole
people
narrative,
always think he's a postseason performer.
100%.
He could go 0 for his next 15.
And that is where your legacy is made. I mean, how many people across baseball, we've talked about how it's so regionalized now, but especially when you're in Kansas City and you're not in New York, you're not in L.A., you're not in Chicago, so many people just have never watched you play. Let's just be honest. They've not watched you play before.
Because you're in Kansas City. They had, 5 nationally televised games this year?
The diehards can watch him on MLB.TV, but that's not the casual fan. The casual fan is not searching out the Royals to watch Bobby Witt Jr. on a random Thursday night. I'm talking casual baseball fan. This could be the first time they ever watch him play because they're like, Yankees? I'm watching because the Yankees are playing. Aaron Judge is playing. And then, there's this guy named Bobby Witt Jr. This guy's fun to watch. This guy's incredible. He, other than Shohei Ohtani, might be the best player in baseball.
And the most exciting player in baseball because he does everything. His game-winning hit the other day was on an infield single. And Gold, you and I both knew, and everybody knew in the bar, when he hit that ball, the way that it was fielded, I'm like, you're not getting him. Like, I knew before the ball was even at first, you're not getting Bobby. I've watched him run down to first enough. That ain't happening. I've watched beat Bobby Witt Jr. in the K enough. You're not making
the infield hit is part of his game. Some people are like, they got very fortunate. That's what Bobby.
That's absolutely
we have seen that because of the speed you just mentioned. That is something we'll probably see again in this series. Yeah, he has the ability to hit for power, obviously, and he was towards the tops in the league in triples. I don't know what the final numbers were, if he actually led the league or not, but he was towards the top of the league at one point.
I don't think he led in triples.
In triples. But the infield hit, that's not like some fluky thing for Bobby Witt Jr. He has done that countless times already.
That'd be like saying that when Aaron Judge gets a home run, it's fluky. I'm allowed to hit the ball in a way that makes me safe. And if I'm faster than every other player in the league, which he is statistically, well, then that's not like an anomaly. That is my game. That is part of what I do. No, he finished with 11 triples.
Okay.
What a ridiculous season. 211 hits led the majors, 45 doubles. I remember one time we made a big deal about Alex Gordon just having 40 doubles and not the rest of the stats. 11 triples, 32 home runs, 109 RBI, and 31 stolen bases. 332, which led all majors. But part of the reason he led the league in hits is because he probably had 15 infield hits this year. I don't know, maybe more. Doesn't matter. He also, for the times he does get the lead runner out, he never rolls into a double play. He is always keeping an inning alive. Whether he still gets the out, but he's still safe, all the other steals a base, he creates runs for you in a way that a lot of players can't. But yeah, if I were Major League Baseball, I am very simply just saying Judge versus Bobby Witt Jr. Those are our 2 biggest stars, and you and I talk all the time. Baseball is terrible at advertising its stars. And it might be because it's a regional sport, so everybody knows who Kirk Cousins is on a Thursday night football game, but everybody doesn't know who Bobby Witt Jr. is nationally. Fix that.
Look at the other series real quick. You get the Dodgers and Padres. That's a star-studded series based off the Dodgers alone, let alone adding Tatis to the picture, right? And Manny Machado with the Padres. We know you get the Mets and Phillies, and you have Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor going up against Bryce Harper and Alec Boehm and some of the other stars that are there in Philly, of course. And then in Cleveland, you get Cleveland-Detroit. Detroit, there's probably not many names anybody can mention nationally with that team, but they're one of the hottest teams in baseball. And then with Cleveland, we know Jose Ramirez. So I would say outside of the Dodgers-Padres series, this should be the series star-wise that is marketed, but it's not. It's going to be third on the list because people are going to look at New York and Philadelphia, obviously, nationally more.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably the case. That's why I'm still fascinated about what time this game's going to be played.
on Wednesday. Let's worry about Saturday first. I know we talk about for scheduling yet, but in general, Wednesday's a long ways from now. We got 2 playoff games. We got a Chiefs Monday Night Football game before we can get to Wednesday, man. There's a lot happening before then.
A lot going to happen in life before that. You got anything else planned for the next 5 days?
No, I mean, there's some big college football tomorrow, too. You know, Missouri's got a huge one down in College Station.
They're underdog, aren't they?
They're 2.5-point dogs. If they clear
they have one of 2 challenges, right?
Yeah,
Alabama now.
Alabama and Oklahoma remaining after. If they can clear the Aggies, then I think they're going to the college football playoff.
Because even if they lose the Oklahoma and Alabama game, they're probably going. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, you're not wrong. At least in the, I think a 2-loss team out of the SEC will go.
If you beat Alabama, then yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot left for the Royals coming up on this. I just like that every time they go, and this is why we'll talk to Ryan Lefebvre in a few minutes and Joel Goldberg later. I just love that every time the Royals get in the postseason, they make it interesting for us. They just as easily could have been one of those teams.
They don't lay eggs.
They played 2 games in the wild card, and we were like, you know, it was a really nice season. So the Chiefs play Monday night, right? And we move on with our day? No. They're going to give us till at least Wednesday to watch playoff baseball. Thursday, Saturday, whatever. We might get, you know, and it could obviously continue to stretch beyond that. So get a win on Saturday so we don't feel like it's going to continue.
We are broadcasting live out at Community America Credit Union in Olathe, their Olathe branch, 135th in Black Bob for a Red Friday tailgate. It starts at 11 o'clock, goes till 1. We'll be out here till 2 o'clock. A reminder, free food, free lunch to the first 100 people. They'll fire up the grills here in a little while starting at 11 o'clock. You can take some photos then as well with Chiefs cheerleaders, KC Wolf, and a chance to win tickets to Monday Night Football. Chiefs and Saints right here at Community America Credit Union. Up next, though, we go out to New York and check in with Ryan Lefebvre, who you'll hear right here on 96.5 The Fan Saturday and throughout the entire playoff series. Get his perspective on the star-studded matchup between Witt and Judge, and does he believe this offense can get going on Saturday?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Calling all Kansas City football fans to downtown Las Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for the ultimate game day getaway. Huddle up at Overhang Bar with 96.5 The Fan for our pregame tailgates on Fridays with drink specials and giveaways, including a pair of game day tickets. Then catch all the action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge in the center of it all at America's favorite place to watch football, Stadium Swim, featuring 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. To book your huddle up experience, visit circalasvegas.com today.
What makes a good real estate agent? They just know what makes your home sell. And homeowners all over Kansas City trust the Sharp Homes team brokered by Epic Realty to sell their home. And I trust Dawn as well. If I needed to sell my home, Dawn Sharp is the only call I would make. Dawn and her team know how to price your home correctly and how to market it to as many potential buyers as possible. She has over 200 5-star reviews on Google and Zillow, and you can see them when you Google Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
The best of the best event at Peter's Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing. Also custom Zegna cloth, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line.
Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about Dan Dan the Wedding Man. Why rent a suit or tux when you could buy one from Dan Dan? Only $250 gets you a custom tailored suit or tux. And as always, Dan Dan has free alterations for life. It's the day your partner will remember for a lifetime, and it's a suit you can use for a lifetime. Best day, best look with Dan Dan the Wedding Man at 97th and Quivira. Online at dandantheweddingman.com or call 541-1192.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at NissanUSA.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards golf lessons to become a scratch golfer. Progressive cannot guarantee that you will ever become a scratch golfer. Scratch golfers are really, really good. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, and sure, you could put that money towards lessons, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn and think you're going to become a scratch golfer, you're delusional. Sorry, just telling it like it is. Savings? Maybe. Scratch golfer? Don't hold your breath. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. It's universally accepted that golf is hard. Progressive cannot guarantee improved performance on the course.
What's better than watching your team win? Winning money while you do it. I'm Jim Costa, and on Cash the Ticket, Mike Valenti and I give you the edge to make every game playable. College football, NFL, we're breaking it all down game by game. Your podcast feed is going to be filled, and you're going to love it. You can click on the games you care about. We do it all. With our analysis, we're finding games that other people aren't talking about. We're turning every Saturday and every Sunday into days where you got a chance to win. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Cash the Ticket with us. Follow Cash the Ticket in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back here on Cody and Gold, we are live out at Community America Credit Union. They're a Lefebvre branch, 135th in Blackbot for a Red Friday tailgate. It all starts here in about a half hour. Free lunch, first 100 people that come on out. Plus, you can take some photos with the Chiefs cheerleaders. Casey Wolf, we're giving away some tickets to Monday night's Chiefs game against the Saints as well. As I said, it's a little Red Friday. It's a Blue Friday as well. And let's get right back into the Royals. We go out to the hotline and head up to New York and welcome in Royals broadcaster Ryan Lefebvre. Of course, you'll hear him tomorrow night right here on 96.5 The Fan for Game 1 of the ALDS. Ryan, it's great to have you on in October for the first time in a while, man. It's great to be talking some Blue October baseball.
Yeah, it sure is. And we got a big test ahead of us here at Yankee Stadium.
no doubt. I wanted to get your perspective, though, on this year's team. I mean, you've been with this organization for a while, and a 56-win team a year ago to now be the first team in baseball history to lose 100 and then win a playoff series. You look at how they did it. I guess what's impressed you the most, throughout this season to get to this point?
Well, I think in the big picture, I'm still impressed with the fact that they're even here. And on the field and in the clubhouse, the message has to be, hey, last year is behind us. This is a new team. It's a new roster. There's nothing we can do about last year. I mean, Matt Quachero has been hammering that into these guys' heads since his first day as manager. Yesterday, learn from yesterday, but it's all about today. We can't worry about tomorrow. But the fact is they lost 106 games last year. And no matter how many new players you bring in, this young core has never experienced winning at the major league level. And so the starting pitching helped a lot, yes. Hitting with runners in scoring position helped a lot, yes. Defense helped. Being healthy for most of the year helped. But if you've never been there and you've never done that and you've never learned how to win games, I mean, statistics are important, but you're talking about human beings now who have to be put in a situation. You don't get to come up to the plate with your 910 OPS and roll it out there like a bowling ball against the pitcher's 5.2 ERA, and you just automatically, win the battle there. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, you got two human beings who either know how to win a game or don't, or feel comfortable in the situation or don't. And that's really what it comes down to. And so all that individual stuff was important, but in the bigger picture, I'm just impressed with the fact that they figured out how to be a winning team and that the younger players in a very short period of time figured out how to be winning players.
What do you attribute that to in your mind, Ryan? Is it because Bobby Wood Jr. is just so great, or Bobby and Vinny and Salvi and the right leadership, or how does a team figure that out so quickly? Because you're right. Typically, teams more quickly get used to losing than the other way around.
Well, Cody, when your ERA as a team is over 5, you go to the ballpark every day and you think we have to score 6 or 7 runs to win the game. And the way to score 6 or 7 runs is to hit a 3-run home run or a 3-run double, or maybe more than one of those. But when you have pitching and you realize we might only have to score 3 or 4 runs to win this game, there's a mentality on offense where a guy begins to realize, if I drive in this 1 run here, that might make the difference later in the game. Or if you come up in a situation and the game is tied and there's a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, and you think about just getting that run home and not necessarily driving it. Well, let's say the bases are loaded with 1 out, and you're thinking about, how do I get this runner in from third first and not worry about the runner at third, the runner at second, and the runner at first. There's just this, you're simplifying the game. You're playing to the situation. The player who's most impressive, obviously, is Bobby Wood Jr. But the one I think has really helped change the attitude of the team offensively has been Vinny Pasquantino. I mean, the fact that he drove in 97 runs and the way that he drove in 97 runs with ground outs, sacrifice flies, singles, doubles, home runs. It is I keep using the word old school, and I hate saying that, but it's a throwback way of being a run producer. And we went through close to a decade of baseball where the only way to be a run producer was to go up there, find your pitch, and try and hit it into the fountains. And if you strike out, oh well, but every now and then you might hit one into the fountains and you drive in 3 and everyone goes bananas. Well, if you're a run producer, you're driving in runs all the time. And I really think his approach at the plate and blossoming as the Royals' number 3 hitter, I think that became contagious with the rest of the lineup.
When you look at the matchup itself, I don't know if just like Denny's blood was starting to boil, thinking of the 70s and the 80s of the Yankees. But at the end of that call, Ryan, I'm sure you caught it. He was pretty much like, you better watch yourself, New York, because you got the pressure on you and we don't, and here come the Royals. It seemed like Denny was ready to fight. What do you think about, the history of these teams goes way far back, but they haven't had a history here recently. Do you think that'll show back up?
I don't think so. I mean, you're right. That was a long, long time ago. But I mean, I remember early in the season, and Vinny had a big game, and it was right after, gosh, it was before we came to New York to play the Mets, because I remember we were talking about it in New York. But the Royals had lost, I think, 3 in a row or whatever, and they bounced back, and they just continued to bounce back and kept bouncing back. And it wasn't until September 1st that they lost 5 in a row. And we kept using this, their ability to bounce back, which is important. I mean, nothing spiraled out of control until those 2 7-game losing streaks in September. They kept bouncing back. And Joel had Vinny on TV after the game as his guest, and Joel said something, how about this team's ability to bounce back? And Vinny almost tried to scold Joel and say, we're not bouncing back, Joel. This is just a good team. We're a good team. And we kind of laughed at it. And because I remember the next Sunday I had JJ on, and all he wanted to talk about is how this team has the ability to bounce back. So we could all see the bounce back thing, but it's that attitude. I mean, I think Vinny really did a good job. And it wasn't just him, obviously. I mean, Salvi's leadership, having been there and done that, and having big games and bad games, but his demeanor not changing and just, pressing on. Certainly that had a lot to do with it. Bobby's hustle. I mean, you got players in the dugout who know they can't do what he does physically, but he plays hard all the time. They can do that. You can do that. You may not be able to run like he does and hit like he does, but you can play hard. And Salvi plays hard, and he plays hurt, and he plays every day. He played 158 games this year in the regular season. But I just think that I go back to that attitude, whether it was accurate or not, of we're not bouncing back. We're just a good team. And I think they believe that they were a good team. And this is a big stage, and this is a place where the Royals have not played well for a long, long time. And but I do believe what he says. I think there's a lot more pressure on the Yankees than there are on the Royals.
We're talking to Ryan Lefebvre, Royals broadcaster. You'll hear him on the call tomorrow right here on 96.5 The Fan. We see bullpen arms come and go all the time, but in one season, if we look at where they were on opening day, even from the names, and now where this bullpen is at, either acquiring guys through trade or some guys that weren't even up in the big leagues to begin the season, some other guys that were maybe thinking they were going to be in the rotation, some guys that were rehabbing. Have you seen a season which led to a team making the postseason where a bullpen has changed as much as they have, and obviously changed for the better?
No, Alice, you're right. I mean, this right up through the first or second 7-game losing streak, it was like, do we have the bullpen to finish this season off? It did feel like it was slipping away there. And there was blame to be spread around to everyone. I mean, the team wasn't scoring runs. They were struggling hitting with runners in scoring position. But to win in the postseason, as we learned in 14 and 15, as I learned in 14 and 15, because I probably shared with you guys before, I'd never done a postseason game before the wild card game in 14. And when the season was over, 162 was enough for me. And I didn't really watch games closely. I wanted to know what the scores were, and I would watch the highlights. And if something big happened, I wanted to see it. But I never watched a game closely. And, I mean, just the other day in Baltimore, I mean, Zach Eflin, I thought, pitched pretty well. He was done after 4 innings. Seth Lugo was cruising along pretty good. He went 4 1/3 innings. I mean, that bullpen might have to come on in the 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever. And but the transformation, and some of the guys that we're talking about, Chris Bubich pitching in the 8th inning in both games in Baltimore, and Daniel Lynch and his ability to give the team some length if you have to go multiple innings. John Schreiber's been there all year, and Lucas Erceg. I mean, I think we're still kind of scratching our heads now. How did we get Lucas Erceg from the A's? I mean, what did we give up?
And how many years of control does he have left?
Yeah. I mean, it's just he's amazing. And I'll tell you a funny side story. My wife and 2 of my kids are here with me, and we're in Baltimore. And we went to breakfast, and we were walking in, and Lucas Erceg was walking out. He had glasses on, and he had 2 cups of coffee, one for him and one for his wife, and he was leaving. And I said, hey, Lucas, can I introduce you to my son, Lucas? Because I try and introduce him to, I introduced him to Lucas Duda when he was here, and he was really little.
Sure.
And so Lucas said, hey, Lucas, nice to meet you. And then And then my other son, Evan, was there, and this is Evan. Hi, Lucas. Nice to meet you. Hi, Evan. And he just couldn't have been nicer and just walked away. And I said, "Do you guys know who that was?" And they had no idea who it was. I said, "That was the guy that was the guy that got the last 3 outs last night." So this was after the first game of the series. So I got my phone out and I played the video of him getting the last out and yelling on the mound. He's just so fired up, and my kids' eyes were as big as the moon when they saw that. But it was just like, who is this guy? I mean, he was just so calm and so friendly, and you thought he was a guy that worked at a library, not a guy that's closing out playoff games. But man, what a move by the Royals.
I think what stands out some about the team, Ryan, is like until you get to the postseason, you don't really know how someone's going to be in the postseason, right? It's kind of a mystery in there. But like Cole Reagan's in his very first postseason start, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. Bobby Wood Jr. in his first 2 postseason games gets the game-winning RBI. Once you get, like a few games into it, I imagine players have to kind of shift that mentality of these games feel a little different going into it. But then once you start being successful, it's like, well, it really is just like baseball again.
I feel the same way, Cody, 100%. I keep thinking about that. I thought about that after game 1. I thought about that after game 2. And I don't want to, and I don't have the ability to get in a player's head or anything like that. But I have been tempted when crossing paths with some of these guys and saying, how long did it take until this was just another game? Because, this is their first playoff game. They're close playoff games. I mean, every play matters. Every pitch matters. But you're right. I mean, all of these guys that are doing big things in this postseason have never been here before. And that's a big deal. And they're doing it in Baltimore in front of 40,000 or less than 40,000 and experiencing the standing ovations when there's 2 strikes on a hitter, or standing ovations after the 3rd out of the inning, or a roar from the crowd on a routine ground ball to second base. I mean, everything is just so magnified. I was disappointed a bit, by the way, in Baltimore. There were a lot of empty seats, and I'm telling people in the organization who've never seen a postseason game at Kansas City, you're not going to see this at Kauffman Stadium. I mean, you think this was a big deal in Baltimore. Wait till you get back to Kansas City. But yeah, I was struck by the exact same thing. All the major players in the first 2 games of the series just seemed so comfortable in a postseason game.
Lastly, Ryan, I was going to ask you about Kauffman Stadium on Wednesday. We were all there in 14 and 15. We all know what the wild card game against the A's was like in one of the most incredible sporting events any of us have been to. What do you think Wednesday is going to be like? And if there's anybody listening that maybe moved to Kansas City in the last 10 years and wasn't there, what are they in for?
Yeah, I don't know what to expect because I was just so overwhelmed by the wild card game in 2014. I was told for years by Fred White and Denny Matthews in 90 and 100 loss seasons when I hadn't done a postseason game yet. Just wait till they get to the playoffs. I mean, people are going to come and it'll be like nothing you ever experienced before. And Ned Yost would often say when we had a big game at home and we had a big crowd and the crowd was really into it, and I would ask him, or other people in the media would ask, did that feel like a playoff game? And we didn't know if it was just Ned being Ned, but Ned would go, nah, that's not like a postseason game, not even close. And we're thinking, what do you mean not even close? I mean, there's standing ovation, sellout crowd, walk off, you name it, whatever. And he would just shake his head, have this smile on his face. I'm telling you, just wait. It's not like the postseason. And he was right. Once we had the wild card game, which of course is, maybe the greatest game in Royals history, and all the playoff games after that. I mean, it really is different. And I mean this sincerely. I know I'm biased, but in 14 and 15, I don't know, other than Houston having the advantage of the roof being closed and the sound having nowhere to go, but as far as the fans actually being engaged and waving those white towels and the roar of the crowd, I don't think any of the other venues we went to in 14 and 15 compared to Kauffman Stadium. So I've been building up playoff baseball in Kansas City to the coaches and the players and the support staff that weren't there in 14 and 15 and just saying, you know what, I am most excited for you to be able to see a playoff game at Kauffman Stadium.
No question. We all cannot wait for Wednesday. Got to take care of business, of course, tomorrow in the Bronx and Monday night there as well. We'll be listening right here on 96.5 The Fan. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, fellas. Good to talk to you.
Absolutely. That's Ryan Lefebvre, Royals broadcaster. You'll hear him along with Denny Matthews and Jake Eisenberg tomorrow as the Royals open up the ALDS in the Bronx. And, yeah, the image he was creating there, we all were there at 14.
Oh, man, it was
the
incredible.
image of what Wednesday could be like, and I'm sure the Royals will have blue or white rally towels that everybody gets when they walk in, as we see across all baseball stadiums now in the postseason. But just that moment, that intensity, whenever that game starts, whether it is going to be Wednesday at 7 o'clock at night or whether it's a late afternoon game, I don't care. The place is going to be incredible.
And we know that. We know that going into a postseason game that it is going to be nuts in Kansas City because it has been. Baltimore, he is not wrong. That was kind of a sad state of affairs. You had pointed out like 24 hours before the game, you could get in the building for like $18.
Yeah, that morning, $16, lower level actual seats.
Dude, like I saw somebody I knew, like it's like a friend of a friend, but I mean, they showed me the photo of their seats. They lived in Philadelphia. They were like, screw it, I'm a Royals fan. It's right there. I'll take the I'll take the train. I don't care. $30, and they were sitting like, it'd be like section 142 at the K, lower level, third base side, like you're like, are you insane? $30? Look, I haven't looked at the ticket prices today.
I'm looking it up again.
I haven't looked today.
With fees
but
to get in.
What would it be to sit section like 142?
Well,
lower level,
just
third
to get in
side.
with fees, the cheapest is $294.
Okay, now tell me what it would cost me to sit lower section, let's do 209. What's 209 running me? $450, okay? And you could be in that seat in Baltimore for $30. So if you need if price alone teaches you about the availability, you can certainly do that. Maybe you can't go to the game on Wednesday, but you want to go to the Monday night football game. Well, we have that available for you. We're at Community America, 135th and Black Bob, starting in just 10 minutes. They're going to offer free food to the first 100 people who can grab lunch. You'll have a chance to take photos with Chiefs cheerleaders and KC Wolf. Plus, you can use their big ATM. That's where I see some people lined up now, and you'll be able to put in the card, press in a fake pin, I presume, get some free Chiefs gear, and a chance for that ATM to spit out Chiefs tickets for you for the Monday night game as well. So that's all right here at 135th and Black Bob at Community America, part of the Red Friday tailgate here till 1.
Yeah, we're going to be out here till 2 as well, but you definitely want to make sure you come out between 11 and 1. It's going to be a great day. The weather is gorgeous here. Everybody's feeling good, not only because the Chiefs are undefeated and it's a Red Friday, but because we've got playoff baseball back in this city as well. I believe KC Wolf will be out here within the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I don't want to put a rain on anyone's parade for this game coming up tomorrow.
What are you about to
say? But I think we had been saying something, and then I hadn't actually looked it up. And then I looked it up, and I got significantly more nervous.
Uh-oh.
One thing we talked about with this team is Michael Walker, proven playoff performer.
Yes.
This man's been in the big spots.
True.
He's seen these things before. Man, I got some bad news. He has done that. He has not pitched well in a postseason game, and this is not an exaggeration, 11 years. That is the last time he pitched well in a postseason game. He last pitched in 2021 in ALDS Game 2. He went 2 2/3 innings and let up 6 earned runs. It's like a 16 earned run average. He pitched in 2015, so he took a 6-year hiatus before that. 4 1/3 innings in a Game 2, 4 earned runs. The start before that, he came out of the pen. In 2014, he pitched a third of an inning and let up 3 earned runs and just got 1 out. And then in 2013, he was dominant. 30 2/3 innings, 9 earned runs, a 2.64 ERA, on his way to championships, all of that. I'm just saying, Michael Walker's pitched in the playoffs, but he hasn't pitched good in the playoffs in over a decade.
I have not, since you just put out the stats, I have not gone back to cross-check in terms of, I would love to know, what was his entire 21 season like? Because you mentioned 2013. Those numbers, those are basically the way I would say he's pitched this year.
That you're saying he's pitching like 2013 Michael Walker.
Correct, right. And so that's what I would love to know. Those years where he wasn't as good in the postseason. How did he pitch in the regular season? Because the Michael Walker we have all seen this year, as I said, I don't know, 25 minutes ago.
He was actually pretty bad in 2021. A 5.05 ERA and 124 2/3 innings pitched.
So completely different pitcher, Cody.
In 2015, though, now he only pitched the one game.
Yeah.
He was 17-7 with a 3.38 ERA. But again, that's over a decade or 9 years ago too. So I don't view that quite the same way either.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good to have that number in the back of your mind. I don't put a ton of stock in it only because, A, the length of time, but also
the way he's pitching.
I know how he's pitching this year, and the last time he had a season where he pitched like this, it also had multiple outings in the postseason. It wasn't a problem. It's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, that's a very tough lineup tomorrow night that he's going to go up against. But Michael Wacha has been sensational this year. The Yankees haven't played a game in, a week? All of that, I think, in confidence that the entire staff has, seeing what Cole Reagan's looked like gives me more confidence in Wacha. He also has a defense that is currently playing great. That has kind of gotten lost in discussing how great
Bobby
the
Wood
bullpen.
Jr. and
Michael Massey was
Michael
incredible in
Massey.
the field. So I think you couple the defense that's behind Michael Wacha. I'm not telling you he's going to go out there and pitch 7 shutout innings, but I'm not worried that he's going to have one of these the performance he had in 2015 or anything like that.
I actually think the more important lesson for me is don't overtrust Wacha. Like, if I were going into the game and I'm Q, be careful with how you look at Wacha during that time, right? Just don't, if he's in the 5th and he's in a little bit of trouble, you can have a quick hook. You don't have to get carried away. The text line really mad at me.
They said buzzkill Cody over here.
I'm sorry that I pointed out statistics.
No, yeah.
Actual facts. I didn't say they're losing the game. I just said you got to tread lightly, okay?
Uh-huh.
I felt like that was something we were saying colloquially without the backing of, hey, wait, what has that looked like?
Right.
Because Michael Wacha, the whole pitching staff, in a moment of desperation, has saved this team. They've lost 2 in a row. Here comes Wacha to win. They've lost 2 in a row. Here comes Reagan. Here comes Singer. Here comes Lugo. The whole staff has done a good job of picking each other up when one of the other guys is down. But because you haven't had to use Daniel Lynch yet, and he is good for multiple innings, you haven't had to use Brady Singer yet, and he is good for multiple innings, there is no reason to leave yourself hanging out to dry with Wacha. That's all I'm saying. If he's great,
I don't think they will.
let him pitch.
I'm not worried about that.
The postseason
with
hasn't been
Q.
good for him since 2013. I'm saying if he's good, let him pitch. If he starts to struggle, you have plenty of arms to back it up and keep that game close.
Yeah, look, we can mention numbers also where you look at this entire pitching staff, and Aaron Judge has struggled against the combination of Wacha and Lugo and Reagan throughout his career. So we can definitely pull up numbers that fit either side. I just think we've all watched with our eyes what Michael Wacha has been this year. He's been a different pitcher.
Yeah.
He just has. And
he's been very, very, very,
I
very
expect that to continue. And if not, because of the way Q has managed the bullpen the first 2 games of this postseason, I feel good about it. They pulled Seth Lugo pretty early. He's willing to do that, and there's some that thought that was even too early. So I don't think you should be all that concerned about Michael Wacha. Over on the text line, someone said...
text line hates me. Right?
Well, that, and also they said you guys are out there. The Chiefs cheerleaders are going to be here. Does Drew have to make a video? Well, Drew is manning the controls,
You
keeping
guys
us
have
on the
to.
air. Drew's Twin Peak video will not be
Really? We're not
going to
recreate it?
Oh,
yeah,
come
but we've got
on.
some people out here already.
You got to just do one and be like, we're out here, Community America. Fantastic.
Drew should do a video. Yeah, we'll make sure. Maybe we
Can Spec watch the board for a few minutes?
Just so you can drive out here. Up next, though, we'll get back to the Chiefs with our Chiefs contributor, Joshua Brisco from ChiefsOnSI.com. We'll get his perspective on where this offense goes without Rashee Rice, and does he think the defense has what it takes on Monday Night Football? That's next as we continue broadcasting live from Community America Credit Union's Red Friday tailgate in Olathe.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan, and the other place is your sports watching headquarters this fall. Now with 5 great area locations: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Enjoy Red Friday specials all day.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? It means everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom, and ready to do the same for you.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
This ad furnished by Nesmith Taju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
This is Gene at House of Diamonds. No paint-by-number custom jewelry, no bogus sales and financing offers, and absolutely no lab diamond ripoffs. Everything at House of Diamonds is real. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
IBM and the United States Tennis Association are teaming up and using generative AI to deliver an improved experience for tennis fans around the world. The 2024 U.S. Open digital platforms offer never-before-seen features to bring fans even closer to the action inside Billie Jean King Tennis Center. New long-form post-match summaries mean fans can access detailed analysis for all 254 U.S. Open singles matches within minutes for near-instant coverage at unprecedented scale. To learn more about this new feature and others, visit usopen.org or download the U.S. Open app. Sponsored by IBM. Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
Listen to the Chiefs and Saints game on Monday Night Football with pregame starting at 4, kickoff just after 7 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your new home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Cody Gold back here live out at Community America Credit Union's Red Friday tailgate. It is underway, going on till 1 o'clock today. Free lunch to the first 100 people that come on out. They have Chiefs cheerleaders, KC Wolf. We're giving away some Chiefs tickets to Monday Night Football. We got a long line already. People ready to go, hanging out over at the big ATM, trying to have an opportunity to win some Chiefs tickets, plus some Chiefs swag.
Plus, Mahomes' brother is here. He just walked past.
Saw Jackson walk by a second ago.
So, good crowd. Good crew already, and they said, they're going to start taking orders for the food for everybody here soon, too, so I can't wait. Look, if this is an easy one. It's Red Friday and Red Monday, or Red Friday and Blue Friday, so you can come out, get free lunch, get a chance to get those tickets for Monday night, and nobody's going to care if you're wearing red or blue on a day like today when the Royals are one game away from the ALDS.
Yeah, but let's talk a little Chiefs then before we get back to the Royals. We go out to the hotline and welcome in our Chiefs contributor from ChiefsOnSI.com. He's the editor over there with great Chiefs coverage throughout the week. He's Joshua Brisco. Josh, great to have you on the show again, man. You were in KC in 14 and 15 as well. You're from here, so I'll start with the Royals for a second, though, just to get your perspective on how you're balancing everything and enjoying the ride.
It's been a weird year for me to follow along baseball as casually as I have, because this has kind of been the first baseball season in pretty close to that 14 and 15 runs, when I've just kind of been able to sit back and enjoy it and maybe be a little irrational if I want to be, because nobody's coming to me for baseball talk, guys. I have to be objective and reasonable talking about the Chiefs, but I can say horrible things about Aaron Judge for the sake of Bobby Witt's MVP campaign, and nobody's gonna care. So, I was in college in Olathe at Mid-America during the World Series runs. I have many fond memories of the chaos that brought to the city, and since then we've even gotten better at having a championship parades, which is something I don't think I ever really thought I'd be able to say about this city back then.
Yeah, I remember that parade day too, because it was much like today's weather.
It was the nicest weather of all time.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I was not at the parade. This is my great shame in my own personal Kansas City sports history.
Tisk.
Mid-American Nazarene would not cancel classes on parade day.
Oh, man, we just went through this, Brisco. I have class on Monday. I'm supposed to teach, but technically I could just end it early, and everyone would still have plenty of time to watch the Royals and Chiefs. I'm leaning towards half class, you know?
I think that's great. I think that's exactly what you should do, because that's responsible enough to say, hey, education matters. What I have to show you here today matters.
But only a little.
But I want you all to show up, and half of those people aren't showing up if you say we're going to be here until the very end of this period.
Yeah.
You have the authority, you have the chance to be a hero in your students' lives, something that was not done for me back in those days in Olathe, Kansas.
Oh, a shame.
All right, let's talk about this offense, though, for the Chiefs, Josh, with where things currently are situated as KC Wolf comes by us and says hello. What's going on? When you look out...
Wiggles hello.
Yes, he kind of wiggled. That's right. He didn't speak. He didn't speak. He just
all on
wiggled.
the hips is how he said hello.
That's true. Are we just back to this offense being 2023 offense again, or do you think with Kareem Hunt's addition that there's a chance they can still be better than that?
It's like 2023 meets 2018, but not in the ways you'd expect. What a bizarre evolution, because it's a great question that I think has a lot of similarities to years past, but I don't know where it's going to end. I think the process will look similar. Last year, you had a receiving room that, frankly, not even an exaggeration, comparing last year's beginning of year receiver room to where this receiver room is right now, you would take last year's group not knowing what would come next for Rashee Rice, not knowing what will come next for Xavier Worthy. It is a more thinned out group now, especially because we didn't know that MVS was going to have such a regression last year. That, obviously his season became a nightmare on a variety of levels. That wasn't normal for him, even though he had plenty of drops and deep ball tracking issues at times. So I think we're going to see some similar growing pains. I think that we have to see them start to force feed Xavier Worthy a little bit. I don't know if it'll be on Monday or if they'll take the bye week to kind of recalibrate some of that. But he needs to be on a plan that is as, if not more, accelerated than Rice's was last year, because there just aren't a whole lot of other options. I'm relatively optimistic about Juju Smith-Schuster being able to do some of the things that he was able to do here in 2022.
Yeah.
But Rashee Rice upgraded that position. They didn't just not bring back Juju. They also sought an upgrade there. And so even though Juju might get in the right spots again, and again, I think that's valuable. He could be a chain mover for this team. The yards after the catch ability that Rashee Rice brings is what makes him so special, and that's what Juju doesn't have at this point in his career. So I do think it's going to feel like a bit of a regression for a while.
I guess then the question is, do you think the defense can actually did what it did last year? And if there's only one position right now that I would say I would be worried can't necessarily repeat that, I don't know if I'm alone here. They're 4-0, and so people are worried about wide receivers, so I don't think they're paying attention to every other little thing. Mm-hmm. Right now, I feel like the pass rush is Chris Jones do superhuman stuff, and everyone else is just standing around. Like, I don't feel like they're getting the contribution from anyone on the defensive line they need to outside of Chris Jones.
No, you're right. And when Andy Reid talked yesterday, he made it sound like it was going to be probably a little while before Charles Omenihu begins his ramp up for his return. I think that is a huge part of what this team is going to get in the second half, late in the regular season, in time for the playoffs, depending on where his timeline is. I think Omenihu is an answer for that, but you don't know when it's going to arrive. I'm with you. I have seen enough from Jalen Watson to be confident that he's going to be at least a good number 2 corner. Even as Drew Tranquill has had a rough start, and Nick Bolton's had some up and downs, and Leo Chenal's kind of a part-time player. There's a lot of talent there. The pass rush, and specifically the edge rushers, are the group that have not yet achieved to, I think, what their expectations were. Mike Dana has, I don't want to say he's taken a step back, and obviously he didn't play last week. We'll see where he ends up on Monday. George Karlaftis also has not evolved beyond where he was last year. Those guys can both clean up the Chris Jones-caused messes, and Tershawn Wharton has taken advantage of some of his one-on-ones that he gets by playing next to Chris Jones. That's real development. That's a good thing to see from Wharton. But ultimately, it is Chris Jones demand all of the attention and win your rep, and then maybe we have a chance to have somebody else also take a one-on-one that they can win. But frankly, I thought they would invest in a defensive end in this year's draft. Somewhere in day 2, maybe even, like that was higher on my list. They obviously never did. You wanted to see something from FAU. He had a fine game against backup tackles in Los Angeles. If he could show a little bit of juice, that'd be huge. I'm not betting on it at this point. That is the group that definitely has something else to show. Because if they added a top 15, top 20 sort of edge rusher, not an elite guy, but an above-average number 1 type, which I think Omenihu has been at times, I think the defense looks totally different and even better. I just don't think that guy's coming.
We're talking to Joshua Brisco, our Chiefs contributor for Chiefs on SI.com. What do you make of the Saints? You know, they started the first 2 weeks averaging like 45 points per game. Yeah. They've come back down to earth, but they still, I believe, have the number 1 offense in football by a 1.5 points or something like that. Taysom Hill's banged up. Yep. This Chiefs defense I'm not worried about, but do you think this offense can actually put up some points at all against the Saints defense? Are we in for another low-scoring, 17-14 type of game?
I'm kind of assuming it at this point, and I'll take the other side real quick, just since you mentioned, the fluctuation of the Saints offense. It's a little bit of the schemed-up stuff that Kubiak was able to pull out in those first couple of weeks. It was also playing the Panthers in a Cowboys team that ended up being hard to nail down. I think they are a real and above-average football team, which means that they could beat anybody at any time, or they could totally flounder and be one of the surprising losses of the week. That's also probably just a Derek Carr experience in a lot of ways. For the Chiefs' offense against the Saints' defense, I am expecting, until further notice, until proven otherwise, I'm expecting that it's going to be kind of a gross, grind-it-out offensive performance, and then maybe we see a little bit of a renaissance after the bye week if they do have the time to retool what this offense was supposed to look like. But it's such a skeleton crew compared to what they were planning for throughout most of training camp. Even late in training camp, they thought Hollywood would be back by now if the sternoclavicular injury would have healed without surgery. So I do think it's going to be a little bit of pulling teeth here. I think the most important thing is, what does Mahomes look like, and how does he treat the pressure that is real or imagined? How does the supporting cast step up? Last week, the interior offensive line was not great for a unit that we're used to being great. And I think Mahomes has been a little bit more affected by pressure at times than he has been at his best over the last few years. So I want to see a calm, in-control Mahomes, but I'd also like to see a little bit of a better push from the interior, especially. Our expectations have been adjusted for the tackles, but the offense is built for the interior three to be elite, for this offense to achieve at maximum capacity, and Mahomes has learned to lean on that. So that relationship there is sort of the underrated storyline of the week for me. Mahomes and the three guys directly in front of him.
Should we fear the Tyrann Mathieu revenge game?
I think
he's been really good since he went to the Saints. A lot of people wrote him off. He's been a really nice player the entire time he left here.
Yeah, and I think it's in a lot of ways that shouldn't be surprising, but it's kind of funny. I mean, when you look at the way the Chiefs, this isn't the question you asked, I know, but when you look at how the Chiefs treated the end of that era, and now you're looking at Justin Reed having some moments this year where he has not been
where you're
as
like,
consistent.
we're fine.
You say, we keep reinvesting in these, early day 2 safety picks. We've got a plan there. That, I think, is going to repeat itself, and so I understand why the Chiefs didn't want to continue the Tyrann Mathieu experience, not knowing when he would kind of fall off physically. But he has been great. I think that a Patrick Mahomes overthrow of some sort being picked off by a well-placed Tyrann Mathieu should probably be on your bingo card.
No.
I'm not predicting it. I'm saying it should be on the bingo card so you feel like you get something if he does get Mahomes once. I don't think he's going to terrorize Patrick Mahomes or anything like that, but I do think that he would absolutely delight in pulling off a big turnover back at Arrowhead again.
I have to ask you about a national report from everyone's favorite Mike Florio that's out today.
Great.
Talking about Rashee Rice and his injury. We all know it is kind of bizarre. There's a lot of uncertainty, at least publicly, around his long-term status, what the actual injury is. We know they put him on IR. Florio put out a piece today suggesting that the Chiefs are intentionally not disclosing what the injury is, so that way there is still an open-ended return. That way they can push for a suspension versus the other.
So they can quickly solve his legal matters.
Yes.
And then get him suspended.
What do you make of that? Well, by the way, I actually hope that is the case, but what do you make of the conspiracy?
So I wasn't sure what the report was going to be because I've been looking at other reports from, I'll say,
from
good
legitimate
reporters.
sources.
Yeah, I've been trying to track down some good information today to try to piece together some of the Rashee Rice latest over on ChiefsOnSI.com, as you so kindly mentioned at the beginning of the segment. Yeah, I think Cody just sort of cracked open what I would like to lean towards, which is to say the NFL at this point has insisted that they're going to wait for the legal system to play out before making their decision. Guys, do you know when Rashee Rice will end up in court on any level for the 8 felony counts he's reportedly facing? Do you know when that's going to happen?
We do not.
Next summer?
You don't know. I don't know. I don't think Rashee Rice knows, and I know Mike Florio doesn't know. There are civil suits that are out there, but as far as I can tell, and this is with the assist of famed lawyer Seth Kaiser, who do the podcast with KCSN, he can't even confidently. He's a lawyer in a different state, but he's a lawyer. He cannot confidently state that those charges have actually been pressed to Rashee Rice. Those were at the time it was facing 8 felony counts. We don't even know if that's like official at this point. So the idea that the suspension thing, it would be great for everybody here if the NFL wanted to go ahead and get that extrajudicial arm going and say, boom, 8 games, you're clear of the suspension, but you will not see the field the next 8 games. I would be tickled for that. The Chiefs would be tickled for that. There's no way the Chiefs in the NFL are playing that game. The Chiefs have bigger goals this year than trying to circumvent the most ideal sweet spot for a suspension, and Mike Florio should have better things to do than breaking out the red twine for this one. That's honestly crazy.
He's like Charlie Day in that episode of Sunny Man. I mean, he is really grinding through conspiracies at that point.
And he's grinding through page views, I guess, and I congratulate him on the retirement he'll be able to take, probably before Andy Reid takes his.
That's right. 30 seconds, let me ask you, wide receiver targets trade market-wise. I think we're weeks away from something possibly happening, but give me a realistic name that you're going to be watching.
I think the 2 realistic ones are Amari Cooper and Deontay Johnson. I think they could go Amari Cooper for the 1-year, half-year rental, depending on where the Browns put that price. He's super tradable right now. They've apparently been interested in Deontay Johnson before. I think if they wanted to go for an immediate extension with Johnson, they could give up a little more and then have him around for the next few years.
Joshua Brisco, Chiefs contributor here at 96.5 The Fan. They do great work over at ChiefsOnSI.com. We'll check in with you next week, man.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll have some real news to talk about.
That's right. That's exactly right. Josh Brisco, he joins us every Friday at 11 o'clock, and he joins all our shows throughout the week as our Chiefs contributor here on 96.5 The Fan. Of course, you're home for the Chiefs, and we're hanging out at a Red Friday tailgate all day long today. We're here till 2 o'clock. The Red Friday tailgate is well underway. It goes till 1 o'clock, though, at the Olathe branch of Community America Credit Union. That's 13590 South Black Bob Road, 135th and Black Bob. Pretty simple. You'll see us. We got a great crowd out here. Casey Wolf, the Chiefs cheerleaders, some free lunch for the first 100 people till 1 o'clock today. Also, an opportunity to win tickets. I don't believe the first pair. I
don't think so.
I don't think even the first pair has been given away. Community America's got their big ATM set up, and that is where you want to go if you want to win some Chiefs swag and maybe come home with a pair of tickets to watch the Chiefs at Arrowhead on Monday night.
All right, I want a thought. 913-586-7965. I just want a gut check. If you'll call us, 913-586-7965. Confidence check time. How are you feeling before Saturday's Game 1 against the ALDS? I gave you the Waka numbers. Those weren't good. Yeah. But we've got some numbers that will make you feel better, too, so we can give you those because the Yankees lineup has not been good against Waka, Lugo, and Reagans in his career. So I want a confidence check from you. 913-586-7965. At the moment, I'm still feeling pretty good. I know that the Yankees have been the best team in the American League for a good majority of this time. But I've told you all season, and I stand by this, no team has separated themselves significantly from the rest of the pack. And if that's going to be where they are, well, then I'm not going to get overly concerned that they can't beat the Yankees in this. I think it's what you said. It's about getting one of the first two more than anything else.
Yeah, so the numbers and everything, there's a balance of acknowledging them, and then also is it just playoff time, and you're saying completely throw all the numbers out the window. You know, Aaron Judge versus Lugo, Reagans, and Waka, 1 for 28. Jazz Chisholm, 1 for 18. Stanton, 7 for 34 with 2 homers. Volpe, 0 for 11. Now, Soto is 8 for 26
so he's been
with
good.
2 homers, and then Gleyber Torres, 4 for 29. So
that's a lot of people hitting 0-50 against the Royals' big three that will likely pitch 1, 2, and 3 in this series.
Right, but I actually feel good because still the pitching situation. I've acknowledged my biggest concern, which is I don't believe they can get a series win with only scoring in every 2-game chunk of a 5-game series, 3 runs. I just don't believe that is.
But Vinny, don't you feel like the offense is going to find it eventually? They were a good offense. They weren't a great offense. They were a good offense.
The reason why I'm confident is just because they're going to be in every single game because of the pitching. Whether it's Waka, whether it's the bullpen handling their business. That's why I'm confident. If I can tell you going into a best-of-5 ALDS, which we are, that they're in every game because of pitching, that's what pitching allows you to do, well, then you should feel good. I don't take everything out.
Yeah, just not getting blown out.
Just feeling good about it? Absolutely.
Do you think there'll be a blowout in this series?
No, I don't.
Because that's something I don't think is going to happen either, and that's why I think this is why I favor the Royals in this too. I'm with you, Gold. I don't think there's going to be some 7-2 game on either side, honestly.
913-586-7965. Let's go out to Jack in KC. He's listening to 96.5 The Fan. He wants to talk about the Royals. You're on with Cody and Gold.
Hey, what's up, guys? I am calling with a very simple message. Let's go, Kansas City. Chiefs got a smack on New Orleans, and the Royals are about a 3-0 in New York. So
how
can you not just be partying all day about this?
Love it.
It's Friday. Come on.
You going? How? Now let me ask you. How are you watching the games on Monday night? Are you going to
Monday night?
Arrowhead?
I'm going to Arrowhead. Yeah,
all right. So how are you watching the Royals?
So.
Are you gonna be on the phone? How are you doing this?
On the phone with the app, with the Odyssey app, listening to you guys.
Like it.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a great answer, Jack.
Wow, do you work for us, Jack? What a company
might
answer.
as well, right?
Appreciate the call, man. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy this ride. Everybody in Kansas City should be enjoying it.
That's a great strategy. If you're going to the game on Monday night, why not just get the old earbuds out and listen to the Royals on your home for the Royals? 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs will be on 96.5 The Fan starting at 4 o'clock on Monday. The Royals will be on the Fan AM 610 starting at 5:30, I believe. 5:30 on Monday will be the Verns on Deck show start time. So if you're looking for either of those, we'll have you covered because we're the home for the Royals and the Chiefs. You're home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let's go back out. I believe you said Tyler. Is that right, Drew, in my ear? I think I heard that right. Tyler. All right, Tyler, you were in Independence, and you were on Cody and Gold.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Love the show. I just wanted to say how pumped I am for this bullpen, man. They've been nails in September, but the attitude and mentality of postseason baseball, they have just stepped up every single time. I've said this about Schreiber all year to my friends. They think I'm crazy, but I said when we get to the playoffs, he's going to be a dog. He's got that attitude. I've seen it since June, and I'm just pumped, man. This bullpen looks nails. Starters look great. Vinny's rejuvenated the attitude. Why not us?
I hear you, Tyler. Appreciate the call. Honestly, why not? Playoff baseball, this happens all the time. Wild card team goes on a run. We saw it here firsthand. We saw it last year with the Diamondbacks. It's true. Why not the Royals, man? If you have the rotation of the bullpen that this team has, and you have an offense that has now their nearly 100 RBI hitter back in it, even if it's going to take some time to fully get going, why not?
That's what the difference in confidence I have from 10 days ago, 12 days ago, is infinite. 12 days ago, I didn't know the bullpen was great, apparently, or wasn't going to let up but a single run in the last 30 innings. 10 days ago, I didn't know Vinny Pasquantino was going to be back in the middle of the order, already with 2 walks and 2 hits and an RBI. Right? I didn't know all those things 12 days ago. Now that we know those things, my confidence in the Royals' chances at winning a World Series is at an all-time high. Now, that also risks me getting a tattoo, but...
Oh, by the way, I need a decision. We gave you 24 hours. I need a decision right now, real quick. I gave you an opportunity to renegotiate. For those that don't know, back on April 12th, Cody said he would get a tattoo of Vinny's quote, who said, "Who gives a bleep? We're winning games." He would get that tattooed on his body somewhere if the Royals win the World Series. I gave an opportunity. Let's bump it up to just making the World Series, and he can get rid of his strip club bet that he has not paid off for 2 years.
I've decided I'll go to the strip club in the next month.
You're going to Vegas? We're in Vegas?
I don't know if it's in Vegas, but I'll go.
We're going to be out at Circa in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'll go in the next. I will go by the end of, I don't know, whatever.
It sounds like you really do not want this tattoo. Like, you want to try to avoid it as
Drew,
much
I don't
as you
have a
can.
tattoo. Do you think that, like, but here's the thing. If you tell me the Royals win the World Series, I'll probably feel a lot different about it then.
Okay.
You know? I'll feel good about it then, realistically. I'll be getting ready for a parade.
All right, let's squeeze in one final call real quick. 913-586-7965. Howie, you're listening, and you're on with Cody and Gold.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, I think a big factor, I just texted this in to you guys. I think the big factor nobody's talking about is the long break that the Yankees have had between games. I mean, I used to coach here at a college. I've met you guys before.
Yeah.
We used to do that in between breaks. Or we used to have the long breaks, and it would kill us. Our hands would be in cement. We couldn't run. I mean, everything just changes for baseball players after 2 days off. So I think that's a big factor in this whole deal.
Thanks for the call, Howie. Yeah, I mean, I hope, man. That's one thing in Game 1, if you can get the Yankees when their bats are not fully rolling.
I appreciate the call. I don't disagree. Cody Decker said the same thing, obviously, to us, and it's hard to not think it plays a factor, but we got such little evidence on these buys. We don't really know yet from a Major League Baseball standpoint statistically.
We are broadcasting here at Community America Credit Union's Red Friday tailgate. It's going on till 1 o'clock. It's the Olathe branch, 135th in Black Bob. We got the Chiefs cheerleaders. We got Casey Wolf. They're all taking photos. Free lunch to the first 100 people. I think we're getting close to that as well. We got a huge crowd out here. But you know what? Here's the good thing. You got a chance still to win some Chiefs Monday Night Football tickets. You got some Chiefs swag to win as well. Come by, say hello, as so many of you have already done. Up next, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk a little bit more about that wide receiver room. And if anybody's buying anything still for the guys that were once the 5th and 6th receivers for this team.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. by legalizing sports betting. Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Hey, sports fans! If you like college football and you love the excitement of going for a big score with parlay wagering, then this offer from BetMGM really has legs. Introducing the College Football No Sweat Parlay Token. Apply this token to any qualifying college football parlay wager. If you don't win, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Log into your existing BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add a qualifying college football parlay wager to your bet slip and attach the token. You'll get your stake back in bonus bets if your parlay isn't a winner. So go deep without even breaking a sweat. Make your favorite picks from dozens of betting options and watch the games knowing you're part of the action. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
We interrupt with a special report from the Missouri Lottery. With a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year, there's no shortage of Missouri Lottery winners. However, there is currently a shortage of confetti. This may impact all confetti-related activities, hullabaloos, whoop-de-doos, jamborees, shebangs, and any and all festive goings-ons. Rest assured, Missouri Lottery winners will receive a single confetto with every big win for the time being. We apologize for the shortage, but not the winning. Thus concludes this report from the Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome. Play responsibly.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th and Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Light. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's finally starting to actually feel like fall outside. So you know what that means. Time to get to Kohl's for cozy, comfy, and cute outfits. With their friends and family sale, I saved 20% on everyday styles that I can't wait to wear all fall long. Plus, I earned Kohl's Cash. But don't take my word for it. Get to Kohl's and discover fall faves for yourself. Select styles. Offers end October 6th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
If you've been thinking about selling your home, what's holding you back? Whether it's a bad experience or even a lack of experience, home selling can be stressful. The key is to trust an expert who has your best interest at heart, and that's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Dawn is the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home, and she can even give you an instant offer if you want to skip the showings. Google my friend Dawn and her team at Sharp Homes Team and see over 200 5-star reviews, or check them out at homesforsaleandkc.com and start packing.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper?
And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve? Can you handle that much caffeine? Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? I'm cutting you off.
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Staples prints anything you need for your business, like banners, flyers, and signs. And Staples will beat any price quote. Plus now, print more, save more, up to $150 off your print purchase. Offer ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details or staples.com/price match for price match guarantee.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Dury Vision. Schedule your free consultation today. DuryVision.com.
Make the best decision ever like I did. That was calling up Dury Vision for a free consultation to find out how I can see better, and in my case, how I could get rid of my contacts and glasses. Give them a call, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuryVision.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Oh, yeah, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour, and we're having a Red Friday tailgate here in Olathe at Community America Credit Union's Red Friday tailgate off of 135th and Black Bob. Come on by, grab some free lunch, take some photos with Chiefs cheerleaders, plus Casey Wolf, who tried to take your job during the break.
He did. He put my headset on.
He was ready.
He doesn't talk. He can't take my job.
I don't know. He didn't offer to sing or anything. We would have lost that. We would have definitely lost the singing ability.
Yeah.
At bare minimum, singing would have been out the window.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, about half our listening audience would be like, thank God. It's about time.
You can also score some Chiefs gear from Community America Credit Union's big ATM. We got a great amount of people out here hanging out on a Friday. It's a gorgeous day in Kansas City. A lot more energy. Not only feeling good about the Chiefs, but everybody feeling great about the Royals, who begin their postseason run tomorrow as well. And they still have an opportunity to win some tickets to that Chiefs Saints Monday Night Football game over at the big ATM.
That's right. If you use it, they've got some gear you can win over there, but also, as Gold mentioned, the Chiefs tickets. So come out and see us. They got food, free food for the first 100 people who come on out and join us at 135th and Black Bob. Great time already, great crowd already. Give you a chance to just mix and mingle with fellow Chiefs and Royals fans about the upcoming next few days in Kansas City sports-wise.
All right, let's talk about these wide receivers, though, a little bit. We had Joshua Brisco on discussing Rashee Rice and where things stand with him.
What, you talking about Florio first, or?
Yeah. Well, so
the actual situation.
Mike Florio, who, for years has been trying to get Andy Reid to retire, basically, and he's been wrong for multiple years, and Andy, of course, signed an extension, all that. Over at Pro Football Talk, there was a new article today, and it was talking about the Rice situation. And just to sum it up, he was alluding to the open-endedness right now of what the injury is.
Yes.
And he was speculating, although he claims he's heard from sources. Who knows?
Okay. He also said he heard from sources Andy Reid was considering retiring.
I know.
Andy has directly said from his own voice multiple times that's not a thing. So
he was insinuating that the Chiefs are intentionally leaving it open-ended so that they can try to get with his legal team and speed up the legal process, therefore get things resolved, and that if they rule him out for the year publicly, that the NFL would almost with certainty not suspend him. But if they make it seem like he could come back, then they would suspend him. That's not my words. I'm telling you, that's the report.
God, I can't. I'm
that's
so tired.
The report from Mike.
I'm tired.
From Mike Florio.
We might have to ban him from being talked about. This might have to be a Justin Ross situation. We might have to owe $1 to a jar every time we bring up a report from him. Because I don't know, he might have the worst Chief sources of all time. I mean, who is he getting this from? Is the guy, making mercury clocks in his basement, slowly going insane? Is his guy suffering from Mad Hatter's disease? What's happening with the people he's talking to that the current deep state conspiracy is Rashee Rice, even though he doesn't even have a court date on file, is going to miraculously, in a 5-minute window, he's going to find a way to settle his legal case. Then he's going to convince the NFL that he's going to come back so that the NFL will suspend him middle of the season, even though they don't do that very often either. Anyway, just so he can be back for the beginning of the next year? Oh,
Right.
my God. It's just so exhausting. There's just no way it's true. There's just no way that's what they're trying to do.
No. I'll tell you, though, in a weird way, I wish it was true, only just because then –
Well, yeah, honest to God, I kind of wish that is how it would go down, sure.
Yeah, I mean, from the result I like, but I'm not buying any of that speculation from Mike Florio. I think we know that Rice is getting his knee scoped next week in Dallas, and that will provide some more clarity. I also think it's wrong on the other side to assume that suddenly this is like great news, though, that, he's not going to be gone for much, if not all of the season. Like, I still think that is 100% in play. It's not normal for it to take this long and for it to not be anything. So just because he was walking in the locker room yesterday with a brace on doesn't mean that it's not a serious knee injury. That's not a sure thing either. So They have to proceed without him, which is why I want to talk about some individuals who were slated to be the 6th receiver, 5th receiver, Sky Moore, McCole Hardman.
Yeah, they do matter.
I almost feel weird even asking the question. Is there any reason why
this time will be different?
Yeah. That you would somehow buy into the fact that either of those guys are going to contribute? Because I don't think those are the names. I think it's Justin Watson. I think it's Juju Smith-Schuster, and then random player that they trade for, whoever that might be.
It might be Jared Wiley before we get to those
Noah
names.
Gray.
Noah Gray will have probably a bigger part of the offense. I'm off of those two. I'm off of Sky Moore specifically. But McCole, they brought him back. They used him in a couple of spots. He had the game-winning touchdown. But it's not like they're all head over heels. McCole Hardman didn't play a single snap week 1, okay? He didn't play a wide receiver snap. Sky Moore barely played a wide receiver snap. Those guys weren't on the field to go. Justin Watson was on the field. Juju Smith-Schuster was on the field. Those guys were already playing some snaps for this team. So if you're going to make me guess who has to step up in the absence, because I still think Xavier Worthy stands alone as his own man having to do his own things, and I'm looking for the wide receiver who will stand in for Rashee Rice, and I don't think that that's Xavier Worthy. I think the answer is probably Juju Smith-Schuster. If you're going to make me guess right now who is the wide receiver they will rely on the most, we clean slated it, Gold, and I said, give me the yardage totals from the wide receiver unit and who has the most to the least. I think number 1 is Xavier Worthy because I think he plays his own role. Number 2 is Juju Smith-Schuster, and number 3 is Justin Watson, with Sky Moore and McCole Hardman picking up 4 and 5.
I think it actually might. I agree with you, except I would flip Juju and Justin Watson. I think.
Okay, you think it might be Watson more than Juju?
I think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be a key third down guy. It's 3rd and 7. Kelsey's not available, if you will, on that play. And so Juju right at the sticks. You're not getting any yards after the catch. That's why I can't put Juju to. There's no yards after the catch at this point in his career coming, in my opinion. So whereas Justin Watson there could be, and he's more of a deep threat. There's got to be somebody else. As Danian Hughes joined us yesterday, he said it can't just be Worthy to stretch the field. Now maybe you think that's McCole Hardman, perhaps, but I think Justin Watson. Remember he did that. A year ago.
He still can do that. He's good at 20 plus
so
yards.
I would, if we're just going yardage totals only, which is not the whole story, but if we're just going off of that.
It's an easy way to rank it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm with you. Worthy would be 1, Watson 2, Juju 3, Hardman 4, and then, Sky Moore or, until we know who they trade for, if they trade for somebody.
Yeah, we're close, but I still think McCole and Sky Moore don't matter to this offense. I'd still be stunned if the rest of the way either of them had 300 yards receiving, 250 yards receiving. I mean, they've barely had that. Like, McCole had that in his early part of his career, but they don't use him the same way they did when he was here in Kansas City before he went to New York and then eventually came back. Now, you'd think it still should be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Productive McCole Hardman should be in there somewhere. So I don't think that they'll not use him. And maybe now, because Xavier Worthy is even more important to this offense, maybe those end-arounds start going back to McCole Hardman so that you can have Xavier Worthy doing other things, doing other important things, and you save that bullet in the chamber until it actually matters, And so it's a fascinating thing because the truth is, and I saw the most recent report, Albert Breer this morning said they wanted to talk about it in postgame last night on Amazon but didn't, that they're going to scope Rashee Rice's knee.
Yes.
They want to see what his PCL and his PCL and his ACL look like. They're worried about both, but that they don't have the firm answer yet. But the truth is If they're telling you they're worried about both, that means they still think there's a pretty good chance both, one, either are torn. Now, if it turns out it's just the PCL and not the ACL, he can come back this year late in the season most likely. But if it's anything outside of that, well, then the guys we just talked about are the guys they're going to rely on anyway. The other truth is you and I both know that it means a healthier dose of Travis Kelce and a healthier dose of Noah Gray.
Question.
And now Kareem Hunt was a limited participant in
that's
practice
one to
yesterday.
watch. That's one
so
to
I guess
watch.
Carson Steele might get another crack. They're just kind of they're in no man's land offensively. They don't know what they are, and they're not going to know what they are for a month.
Yeah, it's not a great spot for the offense, but I think we if we didn't experience last year, then I would be way more concerned.
Sure.
The same way we were very concerned last year. We saw this play out. I just kind of view it as it's going to be much like a year ago where we're going to be really frustrated at times throughout a football game about the offense not moving the ball. But this defense, let's not forget, this defense, just like a year ago, is one of the top 5 defenses in football. Steve Spagnuolo has this defense playing at an extremely high level. They're going to have to carry the team again. And then your hope is by the time you get to late in the year or the postseason again, that all of a sudden that comes back around. But this defense right now is playing at such a level where you can win games clearly. They're undefeated for a reason because the reason is this defense.
The other part about the way the offense works is, and I think that, again, last year gives me this confidence is, even if it is a slog, even if it looks and feels identical to 2023, and that's how it feels again. In the postseason, I think you should probably come to accept that whatever they are offensively, whatever Patrick Mahomes is, they're 15% better. I mean, he was great in the postseason last year. Wide receivers didn't change, Gold. Offensive line didn't change. Play callers didn't change. Everything was exactly the same. What was different? Patrick Mahomes was better, way better. And so, yeah, I mean, that's some portion of the math here is that I know if they can just keep writing this out. And the other thing is, like, if they keep scraping out wins, at some point they're going to give themselves a real cushion. Like the Bills and the Ravens play, like these teams are starting to play, Cincy and the Ravens play each other again this weekend. The Bills take on the Texans. Those are 2 teams who'd be fighting for the 1 seed with you. You might actually start getting some separation if you find a way to win hideous games over the next few weeks. Just scratch and survive. Play some gross ones, right? But win?
Yeah, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why when we talk on the betting end, and on Monday we'll do our game predictions and everything and all that. It's tough to factor in, covering 6-point spread. Last week they covered. Last week, depending on the number you got, they won by 7, right? So they were down 10-0. That was against a bad Chargers team injury-wise. This is a step up on Monday. The only injury I've seen from the Saints really is Taysom Hill, who make all the jokes you want. He is a weapon for them.
Oh, they use him. They're actually better using him now than they were under Sean Payton.
He's a weapon in the red zone.
Broken ribs, right?
Yeah, so he's not playing.
I don't think so.
I don't know how you playing football.
Flat
with broken
jacket.
ribs.
We've seen people do it before.
At a tight end?
Man, I don't know. Taysom Hill definitely seems like just if you put football player in the dictionary, it's kind of Taysom Hill right now, isn't it? He's just the ultimate. That's a football guy. So, like, if there was a player who's going to play with some broken ribs, and I haven't looked to see if he's been declared out or not, it would be Taysom Hill.
Someone says, coming up at the 1 o'clock hour today for the fan club, I hope you're not planning on having that today. They'll call the police for public intoxication.
I didn't bring anything today.
No,
I figured we were supposed to do.
We are on remote
it's a public,
today. That's right. There's no alcoholic beverages in the 1 o'clock hour on a Friday like normal. Not today. We're out at Community America Credit Union, the Olathe branch, for their Red Friday tailgate. We got a great crowd out here. Casey Wolf, Chiefs cheerleaders getting set. They got a great food truck too. We have to go snag some food at some point. Everybody says yes. The gentleman just said yes, it is. Some great food over there. Some cookies as well. A big ATM, a chance to win some swag. And I think they still have at least one pair that they're giving away for Monday Night Football, Chiefs Saints. So it is a great time to come out here and just interact. Interact with everybody's in a great mood right now with the Chiefs.
It's a Friday, and big important games get to continue to be played starting tomorrow, obviously with the Royals and the ALDS, and then Chiefs and Royals coming up on Monday. I really can't wait. I hope to see, this is the time of year where I'm always interested to see which Chiefs players end up at which Royals games. Obviously, Sunday they're not.
Wednesday,
Saturday, they're not
Mahomes will be there Wednesday. I have no doubt.
100%. It's a bye week.
Yeah.
It's a home game. I got to assume there's going to be a suite with 8. MJ, here's my guess. I think there'll officially be 6 Royals players Chiefs players at the game there to see MJ and Bobby and the whole crew. Patrick Mahomes, I think, will be there.
Yeah.
I think Travis Kelce will be there. His car show is on Saturday. Reports are Jason's staying in. He's going to be in town a day
he's
early
flying
for
to
that.
New York to see Taylor.
There's a report that Taylor might be at his big car show on Saturday as well.
That'll
if they're
drive up
already,
ticket sales.
So if they're already in town, stick around for the game on Wednesday. So I'm saying Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes for sure, and then it's always like the guys you don't expect. Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey end up at every big event, so I'll count on the two of them. And then it's like Matt Araiza. It's always like the guys you don't expect. Matt Araiza and some other guy. But I think they'll be there. I think they'll be at the game on Wednesday, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Now let's talk more about the defense. If there's one particular area, I know you brought this up a week or so ago, and one player that you're concerned not having out there, that's Mike Dana. He's still dealing with a little bit of a quad injury.
Yeah.
Felix, I know we've discussed him a ton. I thought, considering the matchup that he went up against a bunch of backup left tackles, he did what you should do at the NFL level against backup left and right tackles. But that's a step forward. I know we can say we're babying him, but kind of. Yeah,
I think so.
Kind of.
So, look, the pass rush outside of Chris Jones has not been good. And I know it doesn't seem that way because Chris Jones has been a one-man wrecking crew, an unstoppable force of nature, determined to ruin lives. But outside of that, the pass rush hasn't been good. This is not an FAU conversation. This is across the board. I think Turks had a slightly better than average year. Karlaftis has been fine. But they're not getting as much pressure. I'll tell you, last week, when it was one team without both their left and right tackle and one team who had all five, looked the opposite for a huge chunk of that game. It looked like one team wasn't getting enough pressure on Justin Herbert for 2.5, 3 quarters, and the other team looked like they had offensive line problems in the Chiefs, even though they had their starting 5. So, yeah, I am a little bit worried about the pass rush. But not for, like, the season-long thing. I think it hurts him in the short term, but eventually I think Dan will get healthy. In a minute, he will come back, and that might be the solution to all their problems. I think the only thing we learned is that Mike Dana on one hurt leg and Felix Anudike-Uzomah is just existing aren't enough to fill in the back end of your pass rush without more help. And the help's coming. Healthy Dana and Charles Omenihu. Felix is a rotational guy I'm fine with.
Reminder, coming up in the noon hour today, we'll get right back into the Royals. We'll also work in some All-32. We're in the 1 o'clock hour today, expected to have Joel Goldberg.
It's all Royals.
Yeah, joining us for a fan club. It'll be a little more of just a 1 o'clock hour of Royals discussion, more than anything else, with Joel Goldberg out here at Community America Credit Union, which will be good. It's been a bit since we've had Joel on the show. I do want to point out one thing, though. We mentioned it in passing related to the bet. One person's very upset with me on the text line for trying to push you to actually follow through with your strip club bet. They said, how dare you? Cody's a married man. I go, he's the one that made the bet. You're the one that made the bet, man.
I know. I was pressured into it because when you guys found out I hadn't been, but also I didn't have to make the bet.
You didn't. I bring it up again only because, reminder, we are going to be out in Las Vegas coming up later on this month out at Circa Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, the 143-foot screen, poolside, 6 pools, the largest sports book in the world as the Chiefs get set to take on the Raiders. We'll be broadcasting live on that Thursday and Friday. We've got a happy hour party going on that Friday night. And if you are planning on being out there, one, you should stay at Circa. But if you're just going to be there, you can hit me up on social media or Cody. We've got a link for you to actually RSVP for the party. You know why you should RSVP? That guarantees you a free cocktail. It gets you entered at that point in time to win tickets to game day. It gets you entered to maybe win a day bed at a stadium swim.
Ooh, man, that's a spot,
So,
too.
yeah, if you're going to be out there, you should make sure you go through the RSVP process for that party on Friday night.
Yeah, if you're out there, you're planning on being out there, you already have your hotel booked, definitely register, as Gold said, because it's going to be a great time. We'll be broadcasting from Stadium Swim Thursday and Friday, and then, our party at Overhang Bar. Very well could be Game 1 of the World Series.
It could.
We could turn that into a World Series party in a hurry. World Series party in Vegas, drinks, party, fun.
Man.
Oh, man, that just sounds like an awesome time. And it would be a road World Series game.
Yeah, you don't have
all
to
the
worry about
NL teams already have better records. You don't have to worry about it being at Kauffman Stadium. Perfect. Have your little trip in Vegas, come back, and then the Royals in the World Series. Dream scenario.
Someone said we should just get Antonio Pierce to help fulfill your bet, too.
Man, did you see that?
Did
you see the report on that?
Yeah, from his days at Arizona State, he was with Herm Edwards.
They were running a loose ship
He
there,
was an assistant coach. And what did Antonio Pierce get? Is it a 4-year? 8-year show cause for recruiting violations. He doesn't care anymore. He's in the NFL, just like Harbaugh went back to the NFL.
Free
These guys
food, gentlemen's club visits to the parents of recruits, yeah.
Well, did they land some recruits because of it?
I don't know because they weren't very good. So,
but that might have been a coaching problem, not a recruiting issue.
That was one of those things where if the parents are smart, hey, we're going to have a good time, and then we're going to go somewhere else because these guys are going to get in trouble.
Yeah, Drew, like the show cause is a waste of time, though, when Harbaugh can just leave, Pierce can leave, Herm Edward left, and he got penalized. Like, it doesn't matter. Those guys don't care. Herm Edwards is retired. Antonio Pierce is not going back to college, and Harbaugh is in the NFL now.
You're suggesting, though, that Antonio Pierce knows a couple spots probably in Vegas.
Well, what does that say? I got to be honest, though. What does that say about your guy? What does that say about the head coach, the interim guy you decided to continue to hire?
That he was
when
doing
you hear
what a lot
all
of
of those.
Do. He got caught. That's what it tells me.
Don't get caught, though.
To me, it's like he got
I think
caught.
it looks stupid when you get caught sometimes. You look dumb.
Sure.
Because nobody's getting caught.
But I don't think Antonio Pierce is the only college assistant coach that may have skirted the rules when it comes to recruiting. He just got caught.
I do think it is worse that not only did he get caught, but they got caught while sucking. They weren't good. So
you're right.
It's not
if you're
like
going to cheat, be good and cheat.
It's not like they all of a sudden were good. I 100% agree. It's not like Arizona State bagged like the top 10 recruiting class, and they're like, I wonder what's going on here. They were not good, and they got caught. That made it worse.
Daniels, as the text line points out, they did get him out there. Now he transferred to LSU, but Jaden Daniels was the quarterback at Arizona State for a little while.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that was Herm Edwards that got him
there.
He was really good at Arizona State.
His parents must have had an awesome time in Arizona, you know? They must have had a great time.
I bet.
When they were out there.
I bet they had
Follow-up
a time.
question. How great of a time did your parents have in Arizona for a weekend? Oh, that absolutely goes into at least part of it. So, man, what an absolutely fun time. Oh, boy. So silly. Either way, we're out here for we don't have to keep talking about that. We're out here for Community America. We're going to talk to Royals in just a minute. When you look at what Monday night will be like, and I know we're going to talk about it more on Monday. Are there Chiefs, I guess, left in this city? Are there people who are just Chiefs fans or just Royals fans? Or are we married to both? I don't know how you're just I don't know you're just one, right? Because I'm always curious what the dynamic is of the people who go to Arrowhead on Monday knowing that they're missing game 2 of the ALDS, but at the same time, you got tickets to Arrowhead. You got tickets to Monday Night Football, right? You're kind of stuck in no man's land almost, you know?
If you have lived in this city, for 5 or more years, I would argue, I don't know how you could, one, not be a Chiefs fan as well as or vice versa. I just don't know how it's possible, especially on the Chiefs side. If you moved here 5 years ago, unless you were just a diehard fan of another team in the division, I don't know how you probably are both. That's the only scenario. If you grew up here, come on now. If you grew up here, how could you not be both?
I know there are people who, grew up Yankees fans and Chiefs fans because the Royals were no good. Now you got to forbid that. Just give up.
But Vern's going to join us at 12:30 today. And, Vern brought up, I think it was yesterday on the Royal Special that he was doing. He's like, he grew up a Lions fan, but he's been here for, 13 years or something now. And he's like, he watched the Lions in the postseason, he said. And he's like, he didn't really feel the –
he didn't feel the same way he used to.
The butterflies were for the Chiefs game, not the Lions game.
But that feels right. By the way, a little update over Chiefs practice. McCole Hardman, the only player on the injured list who will not practice today, so maybe no McCole Hardman for the game on Monday against the Chiefs as well. Now, it feels like Friday, but it's technically Thursday, so if he practices tomorrow, Gold, that would be the case. Dave Tobe mentioned Nico Remigio or Washington as possible guys who could get the call-up as returners in case McCole Hardman couldn't play.
All right, coming up next, we'll get to what's trending, and then we'll get right back into the Royals and Yankees Game 1 tomorrow night right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Cody and Gold.
I didn't sleep well. I was drunk.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
The best of the best event at Peter's Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing. Also, custom Zegna cloth, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line.
It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here now on 96.5 The Fan, telling you guys about my friends over at Window World. Window World is the official window of the Kansas City Chiefs. Pick up the phone right now and call Window World today at 816-799-0820 or check out the website, windowskansascity.com. And remember this, when you call Window World, be sure to mention that you heard this on the drive with me, and you'll be entered into a drawing for 4 Chiefs tickets during the upcoming season. You know they got some big games, and you're going to want to be there. So call my friends over at Window World. They're offering right now 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. In over 20 years of business, Window World has improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 54,000 homes right here in the Kansas City metro. Check out the website, windowskansascity.com. Pick up the phone today at 816-799-0820 for a free home estimate. Call to be entered into a drawing for 4 Chiefs tickets. Remember, Window World, simply the best for less. And the official window of your Kansas City Chiefs.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce. And we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, email equalemployment@odyssey.com. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. For an online listing of current job openings at all Odyssey radio stations, visit odysseyinc.com/careers.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking about good sex with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might find you're performing like you haven't in years. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you can get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
You've been waiting, and now is the time. Golden Oak Lending has fixed mortgage rates at 4.875%. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. Call today and take advantage of our low 4.875 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.784 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Tune in to Vern's On Deck Show 1 hour before first pitch on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Number one on What's Trending is we are at the Red Friday tailgate here with Community America Credit Union here at their Lefebvre branch, 135th and Black Bob. The tailgate goes for one more hour. You've got plenty of time to still head on out here. They've got free lunch. You can also take some photos with Chiefs cheerleaders and KC Wolf. Also some Chiefs gear through the Community America Credit Union Big ATM. Can still win some Chiefs tickets to Monday night's game against the Saints as well. So we're having a great time. We've met a lot of listeners. It's pretty cool to see some of you guys out here. It's been a fun week for us. We've been at Jefferson's a couple times.
All over the place.
Here at Community America Credit Union. The food truck is very, very popular.
I know. I want to get over there. It looks so good.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to squeeze that in the next break or not, but we'll definitely have to move our way over there, I think. That's for sure. But if you're in the area, come on by during your lunch break and grab some lunch yourself and, of course, have a chance to win some swag.
Next up on What's Trending, local college football coming up this weekend. Number 9, Missouri, the big one, at number 25, Texas A&M. So a huge SEC game tomorrow at 11 a.m. Kansas will take on Arizona State for a 7 o'clock kickoff as well. I think K-State's off this weekend.
Right.
But still, pretty massive game for Missouri. They win that one. They've still got Alabama left on the schedule, which is obviously a very difficult game. A couple more difficult games. Getting the one in A&M at College Station, that would make you actually start thinking Missouri's going to the college football playoff.
I think, based off of that performance then, what it would take to win at College Station tomorrow, I don't know how you could not say they're a lock to make it. I understand that they couldn't lose 3 games down the stretch, but, if you're able to go to College Station where you're an underdog and get a win, it's their first road game of the year, though. I do want to see what Missouri looks like on the road for the first time. They've played their firf 4 games all at home.
So weird.
The scheduling is kind of weird how that worked out. Next up on What's Trending, of course, is tomorrow. Royals, Yankees, ALDS, right here on 96.5 The Fan. Michael Walker against Garrett Cole. My goodness, we're going to get right into this game after What's Trending. But the stage that the Royals have for Bobby Witt Jr. Against Aaron Judge in particular, it doesn't get any better than this. I love the fact they're actually getting the Yankees. I really do. We've seen them play the Guardians enough.
Yeah.
They'll get a chance to play them or the Tigers if they win the series. I actually kind of like
that we are
Yankees.
intimate with, of course, over the course of the
I'm
season.
glad it's the Yankees. They do have all the pressure.
Speaking of which, by the way, if you don't know the slate for the games tomorrow, it's 12:08 Kansas City time for Detroit and Cleveland, 3:08 for the Mets and Phillies, 5:38, 17:38 military time for the Royals and Yankees, and of course Dodgers and Padres will pick things up at 7:38. Next up on What's Trending, Chiefs update. Rashee Rice, according to Albert Breer, will have his knee scoped early next week. We'll give you some indication of what damage they think. They're worried about both the ACL and PCL, according to Albert Breer. But until that swelling goes down and they get the knee looked at under a scope, they won't know the extent of the damage. Also, McCole Hardman did not practice for the Chiefs today. Don't know what his official injury designation will be, but Kareem Hunt was a participant in practice today. Limited yesterday, might be limited today. We'll get the full update later on.
That's What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Coming up in 25 minutes, we're going to be joined by our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. He, of course, is getting you set for Royals and Yankees tomorrow night. He'll have his on-deck show prior to the start of tomorrow's game, so a 4:30 pregame right here on 96.5 The Fan. But let's get back right into the Royals and their game in particular, just how we're feeling about the matchup. Because I think we've all said it. I've heard Bob and Dusty talk about it. We said it a little bit yesterday. It doesn't guarantee anything, but the pressure factor is real when you're in New York. It just is. And the Royals are, to a certain extent, playing with house money. I know some people hate that phrase.
It's true, though.
But they lost, 7 in a row down the stretch at one point. Twice. They have an offense that still is not performing all that well, and yet they swept the Baltimore Orioles and now have an opportunity to come back to Kansas City on Wednesday for a Game 3 where hopefully it's at least a split.
Well, so that's what matters the most, is finding a way to get the split. And obviously starting pitching is going to be a huge part of the story of this series and of this game, but I don't think that that's unfair to say. The Royals won 56 games last year. There have only been 3 teams in Major League history who have even made the postseason after losing 100-plus baseball games. This is the lowest record anyone has ever had before making the postseason. So, okay, there's already a little bit of history. The other 2 teams who made it never won a postseason series. They're the first to do that gold. So they're already riding what is an absolute high. They weren't supposed to have Vinny back. Now they got Vinny back. And so if you look at the entirety of the picture, The New York Yankees have all the pressure on them. They have the second highest payroll. I think it's the second highest payroll in baseball. They have the presumptive MVP in Aaron Judge. He's going to win it, right? They have all the big stars, all the big names. They're the New York Yankees. And so if you do that and you lose to the Royals, heads might roll. And they're in a, the other part we don't talk about is the Royals have a little bit of question marks because you don't know if Waka will exercise his option. Other than that, the entire Royals team is kind of back next year, right? Good chunk. Huge chunk of the Royals roster is back. The Yankees, they guaranteed to have Soto back?
Aaron Boone's gone.
Boone's cooked?
Definitely gone.
Is Juan Soto getting a new contract here? Are they going to pay again? Or are they going to try to start fresh? They got other pitching free agents. Like, what's their outlook if they don't go and take this? We talk about this as it relates to the Chiefs. The Yankees in this situation are essentially the Bills. They've played in a lot of important games, realistically, over the last 5 to 6 years in the American League. They haven't done squat with it.
You almost had
I
yourself there. You
got
close.
You
got yourself.
I don't think I hit the hard S, but the hard H. But it was in. They haven't done anything.
My hand for the dump button.
They haven't done anything with it, and so I've been starting to catch myself because
your
my
kids
daughter,
are getting old enough; they're picking up on.
Well,
it
they're not repeating it, but I'll be 2 rooms away, and I'll drop a net bomb, and my daughter will go, "Dad, I told you can't say those words anymore." Like, yeah.
What's your response?
I'm just always like, okay. I got to start a swear jar if I'm going to actually not cuss in front of them. I'm a little too loose in front of them, but so they haven't done anything with it, man. They're stuck in the same position as the Bills, so they have to feel desperate. Desperate. Yankees haven't won one in 15 years. They've been close. Nothing.
The pressure is there because of this conversation, but I have seen a ton of media nationally, talk about basically as if, hey, if it's not happening this year, when is it going to happen? And they reacted that way as soon as the Royals won. And so I kind of took that personally,
Yeah.
Because I saw that like, well, this path, the Astros are out of it.
You can't win when the Astros are
going. The Astros are out of it. It's the Royals instead of the Orioles and all that. That's why, I do think the Yankees should be fearful because that conversation is making it seem like, it's just an easy path to the World Series for the New York Yankees. No, this is a Royals team that has starting pitching at an elite level throughout the season. It's a Royals team that suddenly has a bullpen playing at an elite level, not giving up a single run. We went through the numbers a day or two ago on the show.
1 run in the last 27 innings or something?
Yeah, well, 1 run in almost 40.
40 innings,
and 15 hits during that from the bullpen. That's it. This bullpen is not the same bullpen as they were in May, June, July, early August. It is completely different. It's remarkable to see a team in season make the adjustment they did. There's only, 2, 3 bullpen arms that are even the same from opening day? Like everybody else either got hurt or they kind of ran them out.
I guess here's the other part is it's easy to say, like, if I ask this question, you'll be like, well, yeah, they're in the ALDS. But I want you to really think about it from a team perspective. If I said, is this the most confident you have ever been as the Royals as a team than at any point this year? I want you to think about it from a team perspective because you're like, well, they're in the playoffs. And, yeah, of course I am. But, honestly, you're less confident probably now in the offense than you were 2 months ago. But you have got to be infinitely more confident in the bullpen than you were any single day the rest of the calendar year. And I still have some confidence now that the offense can return back to its normal form because their middle-of-the-order hitter is back. Everything that they were missing, the offense was league average to slightly above league average up until the day Vinny Pasquantino got hurt, and then they were the worst offense in the league. I know they only scored 2 runs in the first 2 games that Vinny was back. But Vinny was part of the reason they scored 1 of those runs. He had an RBI. He walked a couple of times. They pitched to Bobby twice because Vinny existed. The things they couldn't do to get runs before exist now because Vinny's in the order. And so this is the most confident I have ever been in the Royals team. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're still in the playoffs. And the actual play of the players is why. You the most confident? Is this maximum for you?
Yeah, it is because there's always the worry that you get into the postseason, it's done so quick, like it is for Baltimore. And you always wonder that. And this team, based off the offense, it really felt like that could have been a possibility. But how many times did we say in the postseason, the pitching, that's the beautiful thing, get in the dance because of the pitching.
Yeah,
you build your team through defense in pitching. If you can actually get to the postseason, you automatically, to me, vault to one of the better teams in the postseason. That's why we were talking about the power rankings when the wild card round started, and Yahoo Sports and some other outlets had them as the 12th out of 12. That was kind of silly, because of where the pitching has been. And the way this team ends up somehow going on a 2014 type run requires the offense to get going as well. I believe that firmly. But they're in every game because of this pitching staff. And so that's why, I feel confident about it. Do I think it's going to be as smooth sailing every single game in this series where the bullpen's just going to be lights out? I don't know if they can do that every single game. This is still not HDH.
Sure.
But I also would like to think, well, maybe the bullpen, is a little more human. Does the offense return to some form of average? Because let's be honest, they've been below average.
So if the bullpen gives up a couple of runs now versus
the
they
offense
haven't,
a little bit better?
Does the offense score a couple more runs? Then again, equaling the playing field. And the Yankees have played. I don't know how many it is exactly for Aaron Judge. How much you want to bet he's played in like 25 playoff games? Right? I mean, it's probably a lot, right? They've been in the playoffs almost every single year he's been in the big leagues. Aaron Judge is always a little bit older than you think. Sometimes we talk about Bobby Witt Jr. and Juan Soto and some of these other guys, and we mention Aaron Judge because we're talking about some of the best players in the game. But some of the best players in the game are quite a bit younger than Aaron Judge, who is in his 30s, has played in a lot of these games, but also hasn't, because offense comes at a premium, Gold. I wouldn't tell you that he's torn the cover off the ball. He has played in 44 postseason games, Aaron Judge. 44 postseason games. He is at 211 with a 310 on base with 13 home runs in 44 games. So his home runs go down. His average goes down. His on-base percentage goes down. His strikeouts go up. The pitching is better. The competition is better. And you're not playing every game at Yankee freaking Stadium. And so once those things start to equalize, Aaron Judge hasn't been a monster in the postseason. Had he been, they probably would have a World Series in the last 5 years.
But that's why the pressure is there.
If he had just gone out of control,
Yeah, that's why the pressure is there, though, for him, because you're the captain of the franchise and you haven't got them to that point, and that's all you're judged on.
And now he's taking a week off.
Well, that's the hope. I think that only applies for one game in the series, though. I don't believe we.
I think maybe two.
Okay.
But
so tomorrow night is the night where you catch them where hopefully the bats are cold. That's where tomorrow night is your opportunity. If the Royals are going to win another 2-1 game in the series, to me, the only chance that's happening is tomorrow night, where their bats are also a little cooled off. And Walker, I really think Walker's ready for this moment. You mentioned some of the postseason numbers, but the lights are not going to be too bright. It's a very cliche thing, but true. He is a vet that has pitched in the postseason. He doesn't care that's in the Bronx. I'm not worried about that. And this team, if you were worried about any of the young guys come postseason time, getting really nervous or whatever, the fact they already got 2 games under their belt in Baltimore, and while I know the atmosphere in New York is going to be way better than what it was in Baltimore, it's not going to be close. I think Bobby, any of the young guys, they're not going to be fazed by that moment. Heck, we've talked about the opposite. For someone like Michael Garcia, sometimes they thrive in those intense environments.
They do. And now, look, he did not have a good game 2. He had a good game 1. Did not have a good game 2. But that's also just part of the way it works. I'm with you back on the offense where I don't think they can win quite that way. But I do think they can win low-scoring games, Gold. Not 1-0, not 2-1. But I think they can win 4-3, 3-2. I mean, those are low-scoring baseball games by standard. What's the over-under for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I was trying to pull up some odds for that, and you take a look at the Royals game. They're dogs, probably not surprised, plus 172. Over-under 7.5. 7.5 minus 122 is over 7.5 total runs for the game. Some of the trends for this, I think I mentioned a few yesterday, but Game 1 home favorites, which the Yankees are in the divisional round, are 30-17 straight up. But last year, just 1-3. Some other things. Teams playing as an underdog, like the Royals, in a postseason series after their bullpen was used for 5 or more innings. In the same series prior are just 28-47 since 2016. The only reason why I push back on that trend a little bit, not just because we're in Kansas City, but is that
2 full days off.
2 full days off, and it wasn't like the bullpen was taxed. It was a planned approach. That was part of the strategy. That was part of the strategy. They used 5 different guys. It wasn't 5 innings strictly from 2 or 3 guys.
It also implies, I think, bad
pitchers.
starting pitching, and that's not what the Royals have traditionally gotten. It's just as likely Walker goes 7 tomorrow as he goes 3. It just is. That's historically what they've been this season, and we got a lot of evidence to support that. So there's no reason to start shifting to the other narrative just because there's the one stat. I got a lot of stats on the good and the bad, right? I gave you the Walker ones earlier, make you feel bad. Give you the stats of the guys against Walker, Lugo, and Reagans and the Yankees lineup, makes you feel good. That stat makes you feel bad. You know, like it's so many. Baseball's old, really old, so it's easy to look through history and find things that both kind of skew this either way.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll be joined by Josh Vernie, our Royals insider. He'll get us set for this game tomorrow night right here on 96.5 The Fan. Reminder, right at Community America Credit Union's Red Friday tailgate. From 11 to 1, the tailgate goes on. We're here until 2 o'clock if you just want to come by and say hello, but the tailgate actually has another 45 minutes still. Plenty of time during your lunch break to come on out to 135th and Black Bob. It's the Lefebvre branch for Community America. Free lunch. You can take some photos with the Chiefs cheerleaders and KC Wolf. They've got some Chiefs swag and still an opportunity to win tickets to Monday night's game against the Saints. But before we get to Vern in 15, let's get to all 32. And I want to start with last night a little bit. We saw Thursday night football. What a finish. What a great game. It really was. Falcons.
Missed the face mask or the game would have been over.
It would have. See, it turns out
rigged for the Chiefs.
Officials make mistakes for everybody, huh? No, they wanted the Falcons to win. No, it was a walk-off touchdown. It was really fun to see. But Kirk Cousins threw for over 500 yards. Kirk Cousins
my fantasy bench.
looks, ooh.
Oh, that's tough.
I had Darnell.
Dude, I got Kyler Murray. He's been really good in fantasy.
Make you feel better. I had Darnell Mooney on my fantasy football bench for 31 points. Thank you very much. And then Khalil Shakir is ruled out, so I would have swapped him, but he wasn't ruled out until an hour or two ago. So that part's a bummer. But no, I want to talk about Kirk Cousins a little bit because he looks like Kirk Cousins again. Comeback player of the year, definitely in play. He's 4-1 right now. I once again had two people yesterday say I look like Kirk Cousins. Maybe that's why I'm even more biased about Kirk Cousins. I don't know. The MVP is still in play as well. Nobody's running away with it. I'm just telling you, Kirk Cousins, the concerns about the Achilles, I don't have him anymore. I think he has shown the last two games. He's further along in his rehab and all that, and now it's showing in production. You don't throw for over 500 yards, and we can't just sit here and be like, I still need to see more. No. He threw for over 500 yards against a good Bucs team. With, by the way, Darnell Mooney, the number 2, and Drake London having massive games, and still not a great performance from Robinson as they lean on Tyler Algier. So Kirk Cousins.
Kyle Pitts played well, too.
Kyle Pitts did have all the heat on him. He had a nice game. Well, give him some props. That's true.
But that's what's so funny about the way Kirk Cousins played is he has done it largely without Bijan Robinson. Tyler Algier didn't get a ton of touches. That was probably the best game Kyle Pitts has played all year, though. Before that, he was doing it without him, too. I'm going to stick with quarterback as well. I want to ask an off-season question to these NFL teams. Why don't one of them just let Joe Flacco start for them for the beginning of the year? It's worked with Baker Mayfield. It's worked with Sam Darnold. Joe Flacco is legitimately the better starting quarterback of every team he's the backup for. And they just run him out of town because they're like, well, he's going to make Deshaun Watson look bad, so we can't be having that, Just let him start for your team. If you're stuck in no man's land, as in you just took a rookie quarterback and you want him to sit for a year, let's say if you were the Falcons, you could have just signed Joe Flacco for nothing and started him for a year.
See, this is my issue.
What are you doing?
We just got done.
If you're stuck in no man's land, you're not going to draft a quarterback. Just let Joe Flacco be the starter from day one. He's better than 8 starters in this league.
You had me till you made
the Falcons reference.
You had me because you're right.
I'm just because they were going to draft a
Joe Flacco is backing up Anthony Richardson, who was drafted high, long-term, higher ceiling and all that. He was sitting behind Deshaun Watson because they gave him the big contract, even though it's a terrible contract.
That's really
Atlanta, come on now. You're saying this after Kirk Cousins my whole point of my all-32 was that very
No, hold on.
Stop discounting him.
I'm not discounting
Stop discounting him.
My point was, if you knew you were going to draft a quarterback but you didn't want to start him right away, good old reliable Joe Flacco is better than 8-9 starters in this league.
Yeah.
Every time he's backing someone up, he comes in. He'd be better than Bryce Young. He'd be better than Andy Dalton. He's better than Deshaun Watson. He's better than Anthony Richardson.
Andy Dalton's a
He's
backup
better starters.
Too. Andy Dalton's a backup.
Well, Andy Dalton should have started for the Panthers too for last year.
But they drafted Bryce Young. Of course they were going to start
him, even
if he stinks. Drew, what do you got for all 32?
Surprise, surprise. Aaron Rodgers is included in this one. We're going to stick to the quarterback.
I'm happy you didn't. I'm happy you went outside of Cincy. I'll be honest.
Has it been a little too much Cincy?
I have done a very good job at avoiding Cincinnati for the all 32s.
They got that big win against Panthers.
Yeah, that's right.
And I did not watch, so it almost is tempting for me not to watch this weekend. So mine is they're on the brink of a complete disaster. So I know that Aaron Rodgers is kind of struggling a little bit, but it's about Aaron, but it also is about Robert Saleh. So after the game this past weekend, Robert Saleh had comments about dialing back the cadence that Aaron Rodgers has. And Aaron Rodgers said, quote, "That's one way to do it. The other way is to hold them accountable." And that was
he said that
end
on
of statement.
Pat McAfee. Look,
I don't understand why. I get why people are like the Jets, but it just seems like it's a disaster, and Robert Saleh is part of the problem. I know that you've questioned him, Golden, just in terms of his coaching ability in general, but it just seems like it's New York. There's pressure. You're on the brink of having a disastrous season, and it's not related to injury. It's more camaraderie within the group.
They're only 2 wins. Do you know who their wins are against? They're 2-2. Their wins are against Tennessee and New England.
No, I agree with you, Drew, that it's a big swing the next week or so because it could get really ugly there for Robert Saleh with Aaron Rodgers running the show. It's why a lot of people believe that they almost have to go trade for Davante
Saleh
Adams.
also laughed off pressure. I
They
believe
do not
today
get
it was.
along. Aaron Rodgers, weird, even though this was happening at the end of Green Bay, is not a good teammate. Instead of ever trying to help a teammate, he's always like, shut up, stupid. Do it the way I'm doing it and do it better, which is not the way to approach being a teammate. Their remaining schedule, by the way, over the next month and a half, they go Minnesota, then Buffalo, then at Pittsburgh, then they get New England, at Houston, at Arizona. They're fine. That team's not making the postseason.
Guys, this is the leverage the Raiders have. I think they have to trade for Davante Adams.
And they should do it now.
I think they have to do that considering everything where you're bringing up. And Garrett Wilson, who I think is very, very talented, is a stud. Yeah. But he doesn't have the rapport still with Rodgers. That's a problem. We know Rodgers and Davante Adams had that, and maybe they can pick that back up right away. I think the Jets' only chance of salvaging this thing is trading for Davante Adams, even if it takes a second-round pick.
I do think, looking back at it, when the Packers were drafting like Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed, Aaron was having a problem with getting along with the guys. Jordan Love comes in, and they look really good with the same group of wide receivers. Garrett Wilson and him can't get on the same page. Aaron Rodgers wants his guy back, but it's the same sort of thing where he just can't get on the same page as the wide receivers, and other quarterbacks can, and that sounds like it's more of a quarterback problem than it is anything else.
I also think that he's suffering from what I would call Bill Belichick assistant coach syndrome. When you were the guy in Green Bay, right? You were the man. You were winning a Super Bowl. You were putting up all these stats. You were winning MVPs. You can bully people around. You can force them to your way of thinking. You're in a new city and you've done jack squat for them. So, if you're in that situation, you can't just bully everyone around. And Saleh and him obviously do not get along, right? Do we all agree to that?
They said that they're friends, but again,
They said
the thing is,
Rodgers is in charge. Rodgers is in charge of that team. That's
which
what
is a weird position.
He runs the show there. They're all going to lose their job if they don't turn this thing around. Every single one of them will be gone next season. That's the pressure they're feeling, and it's in New York. Yeah, Drew, it's in New York, which adds to everything that is going on there. That's all 32 in the NFL. Up next, though, let's get right back to the Royals, who have an American League Divisional Series tomorrow night right here on 96.5 The Fan, and a man that's going to get you set for it not only right now in about 5 minutes, but is going to be tomorrow on his On Deck show is Josh Vernier. Let's welcome in Josh Vernier on the other side. I want to ask him about the offense again and also what he makes of just kind of the national noise around this series and the matchup that exists there. That's next on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Hey, sports fans! If you like college football and you love the excitement of going for a big score with parlay wagering, then this offer from BetMGM really has legs. Introducing the College Football No Sweat Parlay Token. Apply this token to any qualifying college football parlay wager. If you don't win, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Log into your existing BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add a qualifying college football parlay wager to your bet slip and attach the token. You'll get your stake back in bonus bets if your parlay isn't a winner. So go deep without even breaking a sweat. Make your favorite picks from dozens of betting options and watch the games knowing you're part of the action. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th in Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $35.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp with you. We are live out in Olathe at Community America Credit Union's Olathe branch, 135th and Black Bob for the Red Friday tailgate. You still have a half hour to get out here for the tailgate, some free lunch. You got the Chiefs cheerleaders. Casey Wolf is out here, a chance to win some Chiefs swag and some Chiefs Saints Monday night football tickets. We're having a great time on a Red Friday. Might as well be a Blue Friday in Kansas City as well. And that's where we go out to the hotline and welcome in our guy, Josh Vernie, our Royals insider. He had a Royals special on the station last night. Hopefully you caught some of that, Vern. How you feeling, like, just in terms of the are the nerves there yet? Is it a confidence aspect to you right now? Where are you at with this Royals team?
I mean, it's all I think about. First thing in the morning, it's what I'm grinding my teeth about while I'm sleeping. It's the reason why I wake up with a headache.
Sure.
But I'm excited, man. This is exactly what I wanted to be doing in October rather than sitting around feeling absolutely worthless. No, I think you should feel confident, to be quite honest. I can't say I'm surprised that the Royals are the biggest divisional dog heading into New York. But I don't think there's enough evidence as to why, other than the pinstripes and the New York logo and Aaron Judge. Other than those things, I don't see a stark advantage for the Yanks. You know, bullpens might be a push. If they want to say the starters are a push, that you're going to see the good Carlos Rodon and a good Marcus Stroman, okay, I'll go along with that. It's a push. Yes, the Yankees get the edge offensively, but the Royals get the edge defensively. The Royals get the edge on the base paths, and come October, yeah, I would love to think that it's going to be, you know, Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr., and it's just a slugfest, but that just doesn't happen all that much, especially when Garrett Cole and Micah Wacha and Cole Reagans are on the hill. To me, it's going to come down to the same thing that it came down to against Baltimore. Who can execute? You know, obviously your stars got to be stars. Judge and Soto, Bobby and Salvi, they got to drive in that run when it's in scoring position. But outside of that, is Gleyber Torres going to be able to execute in a big spot? Can Kyle Isbell get that bunt down? Will Micah Massey run into an extra base hit? You know, what do they get from Anthony Volpe? For as much as we focus on the stars, the complementary pieces got to execute. And, boy, did they ever do that against the Baltimore Orioles? And I have no reason to believe that they'll fall short of doing that against the Yanks.
Vern, now that we have the power of hindsight, like, you look at the Royals' record and you say, well, you know, the Yankees were better a good chunk of the year. The Orioles were better a good chunk of the year. They had better records, got off to better starts, whatever. Shouldn't we go back and realize that every single member of the AL Central was battle-tested except for when they got to have bye weeks against the White Sox? 3 of these teams are in the divisional round. Maybe nobody faced a harder schedule than the Royals, Guardians, and Tigers as a result of that. And they might just be more equipped to handle beating good teams now that we know what all these teams are, because the Twins barely missed the postseason too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you could certainly make that case. To me, it's more of the flukiness of October.
Sure.
Houston's a better team than Detroit. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're on a heater right now, and A.J. Hinch cannot make a bad move when he goes to that bullpen. It's amazing what they're doing with one starting pitcher and then, 13 relievers. It's amazing what Detroit's doing, but Houston's the better team, and they got knocked out of the postseason. Milwaukee, to me, is a better team than the New York Mets, but apparently Kevin Williams was tipping his pitches last night, and Pete Alonso was ready for it and gave us one of the best moments of October. Yeah, listen, was the American League Central a lot better than anybody thought going into the season? No doubt about it. But I think the American League Central, save Minnesota, was at its best in September, and that's carried into October.
just a 2-game series ultimately in Baltimore, so we didn't see Brady Singer. Obviously, he's available in the bullpen for this series. If all goes well, we shouldn't see Brady Singer in this series either, right?
No, the way that it lines up, you could really follow the formula that you saw in Baltimore outside of Michael Wacha getting a start in Game 1 and maybe again in Game 4. But, yeah, Wacha, Reagans, Lugo, Wacha again, and then if needed, a Game 5 start for Cole Reagans. Yeah, the Royals lucked out and, day off on Sunday, day off on Tuesday, could be another day off on Friday. Brady Singer, Michael Lorenzen, Daniel Lynch. I asked Annie Rogers as she was on the show last night of those 3 relievers that we didn't see in the first round of the postseason, who do you think this coaching staff has the most faith in? Who do they go to first? And Brady Singer was not the first name. It's a battle between Daniel Lynch and Michael Lorenzen, in my opinion, of who's going to get that call out of the bullpen. Speaking of Annie, I was just listening to Bobby Witt Jr.'s press conference, and he acknowledges, I've been watching Derek Jeter highlights, and we talked about it yesterday, just how much of a storybook start to his postseason and how Bobby's October debut mirrors what we saw from Derek Jeter back in 1996.
That's Cody's favorite player, too.
Bobby said he was watching highlights of Jeter on the train to New York yesterday just so he could get a feel of what it's going to be like to be in the house that Jeter built.
You know what? Bobby Witt Jr. is what Yankees fans thought Derek Jeter was.
Far
more talented, Vern. Significantly more talented than Derek Jeter, So one day Derek Jeter can watch Bobby Witt Jr. highlights and understand how
one of those bums with 3,000 hits.
Yeah. Thank you, Vern. Thank you.
When you look at how short the leash is, you mentioned Wacha. Vern, I pulled it up. I think I had just been casually saying, hey, Wacha's a playoff member. He knows what it's like to be in winning organizations, and all that stuff is very true in the regular season. He has not pitched good in the postseason since 2013. Man, that was a long time ago. His last few trips around the postseason have been kind of ugly, Vern. Do you think the leash will be kind of short for Wacha, knowing that he does have Daniel Lynch, knowing that he does have Lorenzen, and a fully healthy complementary bullpen?
Yeah, of course. But even the ugly outings, that's not necessarily recent either, right? You got to go back 4 years for that, correct? Isn't that Tampa?
He had one in 2022 that he got roughed up for 6 earned runs, and then the other one was, older, Vern.
Still, you throw on top of all of that, which, no arguing. Okay, 2 years ago isn't 8 years ago, so it's somewhat recent. But let's also acknowledge Michael Wacha just put together the best season he's had since 2015, 2017. Implements a slider courtesy of this new pitching department that the Royals have. Yes, they're gonna have a short leash on Michael Wacha for the same reason they had a short leash on Seth Lugo in Game 2 against Baltimore, because this is the postseason, and now suddenly your bullpen is quality. I don't know if we want to call it a strength, but it's certainly not the bullpen that we were deathly afraid of in the first half of the season.
We're talking to our Royals insider Josh Vernie here on 96.5 The Fan. I know we got tomorrow. I know we got Monday. Wednesday's a long ways from now. But that's what I can't wait for, is to get to Wednesday. We were all there in 14 and 15 in a variety of fashions, either as a fan or you were obviously our Royals insider at the time as well. That's what I can't wait for, Vern. And unlike Baltimore, where we saw $16 tickets and the atmosphere didn't seem all that great, I know it's the complete opposite for Kansas City.